ready to get married. We're getting married. I'm literally so hyped, y'all. I'm so excited. I got dressed up for the occasion. I was like, we gonna be pretty. Thank you for the Cove. Thank you for the Cove. Should we marry the love of our life? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. It's gonna be so cute. Y'all, we're getting married. We're getting married. We're getting married today. We're getting married. We're getting married. We're getting married. You were cuddled up next to Cove. Hadn't helped. There'd been a lot going through your mind, and being cuddled up to Cove hadn't helped. Aww, Cove. His shining, awkward-green eyes were open. You wondered when he had woken up too. It could have just been then, or he might have been lost in his own imaginations for a while himself. But when your gazes met, you became everything he was immersed with. Does that mean he was immersed with me? His hand moved from its placement against your back up to the nape of your neck and then brushed past your ear and against your cheek. Whoa, this is too cute. I can't. Cove's fingers drifted over your skin warmly, gently, and completely steady. They flowed like a wave from a summer sea. Of course, you'd known Cove for more than long enough to be aware that this tranquility wouldn't last. Of course, Matt, of course. Of course. Much love. Much love. Once you officially got up for the day and you'd have to be prepared for the ceremony, he would inevitably become, in the most complimentary way you could think of it, a panicked mess. Oh, Cove. And at least you'd both match then. But for as long as it was only you and only him hidden away together under the sheets, those worries couldn't reach him. You were each other's shelter. It hadn't ceased to marvel you the way sharing a bed and had become one of the Cove's greatest sources of comfort after years of it being one of his biggest struggles. It was wonderful. I forgot that he could never share beds with us. Oh my god, wait, this is so cute. And a soft voice, the very soon-to-be Holden Birdie. Holden Birdie. I can't, that's so funny. I literally can't think about it without it being a dad joke in my head. It's just a dad joke. I can't. Okay, anyways. Congratulations on your wedding. Oh my god. Congratulations on your wedding. He squished his face deeper into the pillow happily. Thank you. Oh, okay. You snuggled against him. You ran your hands through his hair. You gave him a forehead, a soft kiss. You softly kissed the tip of his nose. You leaned in and kissed him on the lips. You smiled back. His little face. I love this human so much. I'm gonna kiss his nosy. Buggy St. Brain. Cove humped sweetly, angling his face into the touch. It was a lovely moment to share, both mundane and incredibly special in its own way. But then Cove glanced wait, hold on. Wait. You ready for this? You ready for this? Where's his nose? Give me that nose. Give me that nose. Mwah! Mwah! Did I do it? It's so hard. I'm in the way. I was like, I gotta kiss him. I did. I kissed his nose. Click. You began to whisper. It's almost time. You twisted your head back. Sat on the side table next to the bed was a stock-high digital clock, flashing the current hour and minute in bright red lines. Cove is right. You were going to have to get up if you didn't want to be late, or show up to your wedding in pajamas. By the forlorn look on Cove's face, he would have honestly considered standing in front of you, of all of your friends and family, in pink striped shorts if it meant he could have stayed. Oh, he's so cute. Eventually, his eyes let go of the clock and his attention came back to you. Watching you watch him had let Cove basically read your thoughts. He developed a bent smile before speaking again. Would it be wrong to say 5 more minutes? Would it be wrong to say 5 more minutes today of all days? I love this boy! Ah! Thank you for the clip bugs. Oh my gosh. You lovingly but firmly nudged him towards the edge of the bed. Cove gave an obligatory pout before switching back to a smile. He flipped the covers up and pushed himself into a sitting position. Cove then dropped his legs down off the mattress so his bare feet were against the floor. My party's gonna meet me in the other room. You and your party can get ready in this one. After making it halfway up, he stalled and stared at the ceiling. You lifted yourself to be settled more upright. Alright. Yeah. Cove's yeah wasn't directed at anything in particular. He was grasping to fill space, to buy time while he stored his thoughts. We're getting married. I'm going to marry you. The gravity of the occasion fell on Cove heavier and heavier. As he vocalized it, his hands gripped his sheet as if bracing himself for the weight. My stomach hurts. Cove! You weren't able to say another word before he jumped from the bed and sped around the full edge of it to stand in front of you on the opposite side. But he didn't stand still, his weight shifting from his heel to the tips of his toes in an uneven rocking motion. Cove found thoughts to share and let them out in rapid fire. I have to go right now. I'm getting nervous. It's gonna get worse, but I want to do this more than anything else. Your heart went out to the man you loved. You could relate all too well to the feelings he was confronting. Driven equally from fear and determination, Cove abandoned the bed completely and piled whatever he thought he might need into his hands to make a single trip across the hall. His phone charger, water bottle, suitcase, overnight bag, and a pair of shoes, all of it was pressed against his chest or thrown over his shoulders. It was an impressive feat. Bye, I love you. Oh my god. I love you too. Oh my god, are they about to bonk? No! We're getting married! We're about to go get our hair and makeup done. What do you mean are they about to bonk? We already did that. No, I'm just kidding. We haven't. I mean, we haven't. Oh my god, he just needs a hug. Yeah, he just needs a hug. Cove is on the age spectrum though, just so you know. Cove came around the bed where he sat once more and awkwardly bent his knees down to give you a kiss. You were careful not to knock anything out of his grip as you kissed him in return. He moved away without letting himself linger on it, though it had put a grin back on his face. Fiancé strode briskly over to the door, yanked it open, and exited the room, managing to hold everything in his arms and himself together. This was the last time you see him until you both arrived at the wedding. You were traveling separately from the hotel, but thankfully you wouldn't be apart for long. No, we decided to spend today together. What? We're together today. Stop trying to separate us, game. The room became completely quiet in an instant after Cove's whirlwind retreat. While great effort, you pulled yourself away from the safety of the blanket. Cove had done it, and you wanted to do it for him too. Your clothes are hitting up against the door of the small hotel closet. You went over to double-check the outfit. It all looked fine, you assured yourself while taking slow, calming breaths. Everything would be all right. From there, you went into the bathroom to brush your teeth and shower before anything else. Once clean and dry and half-dressed, you went back out into the main space of the hotel room. Your phone lit up with a new message and you glanced at it. The wedding party had arrived. They were in the lobby. You put your own phone down to pick up the hotel's landline. When the desk manager answered, you explained the situation and they promised to leave the group to your room. The call ended simply. A short time later, a knock vibrated through the heavy front door. You answered it right away. Liz was there with a smile to greet you. The rest of the party filled in after. Congrats and hellos were exchanged as they passed. Thank you for helping. You decided to do your own hair. You had a stylist coming to do your hair. You decided to have Liz do your hair. Oh, that's kind of cute. You decided to have Lee do your hair. You decided to have Miranda do your hair. Do we have a friend, a cousin, or a sister? I'm gonna have a stylist do our hair. I think our hair is pretty short if I recall. And, oh, do we do makeup? Do we do makeup? Do we do makeup? Are we gonna do makeup? If we do makeup, I kind of want Liz to do our makeup for us. Or Lee. Lee's like in the show business, right? I love all these options. They are really cute. I'm gonna have Lee do it for me. Liz knew the arrangement and would make sure it stayed on track. You and your party got right to work, changing, primping, and polishing up the occasion. Yes, you only get married once. Exactly. I'm excited. During the flurry of preparations, the stylist arrived. Liz handled that. Liz is on top of it. Go big sis. Going down to the lobby personally to lead the stylish up to the hotel room. You got yourself tucked, zipped, and buttoned into your fanciful romper when a series of rapid but not especially loud knocks struck the door. Only a few people could come into the room without approval, and the sound was not Cove. There wasn't any of his usual notable pauses between knocks. That left one other option. You thought as your maid of honor went over to answer the door. Baxter! Here we go! We're getting married, Baxter! You only get married once unless you replay the game, like I will be. You only get married once, Grassy, unless you replay this game like 10 times, and then you get to remarry Cove as many times as you want. That's how it works, right? There, on the other side was your partner in this wedding journey, Baxter. His outfit looked as though he'd reverted back to his teenage self. It was all black. But you're aware that staff would be dressed top to bottom in dark shades to be recognizable to the guests as employees and not as possible long-lost cousins twice removed. He offered his polite greetings of his own to you and your party. Hello, and very good morning to you. Hi, good morning. You look incredible already, but don't fret, I won't interrupt the process for long.
How are you?
I'm here to check in. Is there anything you need? You wouldn't happen to have a Cove on you somewhere? The curve of his smile pulled ever so slightly higher. Unfortunately not. Though let me add, I also came in order to keep you informed on the wedding status. Oh? A worried bet came through in your tone.
Yes.
Yes, the status is, it's ready when you are. Baxter! I should go off without a hitch. I'm gonna fight you. Why did you say it like that? That was music to your ears. We're so grateful Baxter had gone to as much effort as he had for this. With an absolute earnestness, Baxter wished you well.
Take care.
Take care, Devin. I'll let you return to your preparation now. Bye! Thanks for coming! The frantic mood of weddings work swept back in with no further distractions. I'm gonna clean up my nails. Your nails were short. We don't have long nails. Your party was there to get you through the whole morning of preparation. There were laughs and a few tears, all happy. There were time investment, however, the look did eventually come together. The clothes, your hair, and makeup was all set to what had been planned for the day. You glanced down at yourself fully dressed to get married. I bet we look like a little elf fairy creature. I'm so excited. I'm gonna do a happy twirl because yes, that's what we are. God. You stood in the center of the room, and after a moment to yourself, the rest of the group surrounded you. Oh my god, look, they're so cute! They're in yellow! I forgot that we picked yellow. We're green and they're yellow. Oh, we picked good colors. You've never looked better. That's saying something, just saying. Liz, you're gonna have a romp today because I'm in a romper. Liz is in green. Why is Liz in green? Oh, because we picked lemon and lime? We picked yellow and green? No, we're green. Why is Liz in green? Excuse me? Why are you wearing green on my wedding day when I'm in green, Liz? Rude. Miranda! Looked on completely starry-eyed and amazed. I was just saying lemon and lime because of the colors. Actually, y'all, I don't think they're wearing green. I think I have my orange screen on for like night vision, and so it looks green to me because it's orange, but it's actually yellow. I think it's just me. I think it's my computer. I think they're yellow. And then the moment had arrived. Your body felt hot under expertly tailored clothes. You couldn't hesitate any longer. Your wedding was about to begin, and Cove would be there when you left the room. Rapidly, you stepped out into the hallway where Cove was waiting. Cove was anxious, but the tension lessened in his shoulders the second he saw you. Having him there put a pep in your stride while you both made your way to the elevator. Together, you went down. He didn't say anything about the way I looked. Cove, excuse you. Excuse you, Cove. A rental car was already standing by to bring you both to the redwood forest. You slipped into the car with Cove, Liz, and Cliff tucked in after you. Yeah, we're all together. Exhaling through your nose, you tried to get comfortable. Unfortunately, there was a significant lack of room in the backseat of the car. Knees and elbows knocked into you as everyone squirmed to get settled in their seats while wearing formal clothes. And then as the car took a slight turn, you ended up with a shoulder bumping into yours. It was a wild ride, equivalent to Kyra rolling down the windows with you and Cove stuck in the back. When you say you're wearing green, do you mean like emerald green? Because that's my favorite color. I don't know, Loki. In my brain, that's what we're wearing. We're like wearing a emerald green or like a deep green. We're getting married in the forest, so we decided to go for like elf vibes. But the game doesn't tell you exactly what color it is. It's just green. Because you recognize just how far you were from the redwood forest. It would only be a few more minutes until everything you'd been working towards would finally come to fruition. You were beginning to settle down. A part of you wasn't expecting it this soon, but you were relieved that a wave of calmness was finally coming over you. You hoped it would carry you confidently through the ceremony. Lost in thought, Liz smoothed out a few wrinkles in her outfit before glancing around the back seat. She turned her attention to you and cracked a small, satisfied smile. Everything's already going excellently. Liz lightly bumped her shoulder into you. You teasingly rolled your eyes in response. Great work, little kid. I love you, sister. I'm gonna hug her. You held onto your sister tightly. Liz sniffled and cupped a firm hand on your back so you couldn't let go. Liz released you and waved a finger in your face. Her eyes were red, rimmed, and shiny with tears. It's wild, this finally happening, but I really am happy for you and Cove. Have a nice shower, bugs! Oh my god, look at Cliff! Look at Dad! Then your father-in-law leaned forward in his seat on the other side of the car. He waved down to where you sat. Hey, good luck, you two. Mr. Holden's smile wobbled while he saved every detail to memory. You could see the big teardrops pooling in his gaze. But you probably don't need that, huh? He scratched the back of his neck, glancing away sheepishly, and then he tried to wipe a teardrop away. I'm all a sniffle. Dude, so cute. It meant a lot hearing that from him. You choked up with emotion and his warmth shifted to genuine worry.
Aww.
Don't be sad. I didn't mean... I'm happy. Mr. Holden struggled to stop crying, but you had a hunch that the smile on his face was going to be permanent. Ah! Look at her husband! Look at the husband! Wow! Go! I'm screaming too. Look at him! Oh my god. It felt a familiar warmth. The little tears. Look at his little tears. Oh my god, I can't. This boy. You felt a familiar warmth covering your hand with a growing smile. You glanced over, already knowing the sight awaiting for you. Ko was delicately threading his fingers between your own. His aquamarine eyes bashfully slid up, meeting yours. You wanted to wrap your fingers around the electric sensation Cove had made you feel aglow with for years and hold it close to your chest forever. Turning your hand around, you gripped him back. Oh, sorry, Loki. It's just a sub or a regular mod thing. But I will do it. I will do it for you. Come. That's exactly why. That is exactly why the command is so it doesn't get spammed. Honestly, I should have put a cooldown on it. I didn't think about it. You had a good feeling that his mind was busy with the same enormous thoughts. The corner of his mouth twitched and slightly curved. You had a good feeling. Oh, nope, I just read that. Bastard wasn't kidding earlier when he said that the hotel was near the ceremony. The trip was already over and there wasn't another second to spare. Slowly, you exited the car, went forward, and finally took in the first sight of your ceremony. The Redwood Forest, the place where you began to take larger steps in the wider world around you with your most important person right at your side even then. Look how beautiful this is. Cool shade from the canopy down on you as earthy tinged gusts of wind came out from between the massive trees. It was magical. This stream is probably the most likely for spamming since it's our life. Other streams are less likely. True. Okay. Because I love you all very much and it's a very special day, It's a very special day for us because we are marrying the love of our lives. I will put Cove. I will put the Cove sound. Okay? To everyone. Just for you. Happy wedding day. Everyone. This is for you. Spam it to your heart's content. Whatever makes you happy. Okay? Okay. Those are the emotes. Okay, my next sub is... There, just for today, you never any pressure to do that, Loki, but always appreciated. But you can spam Cove now just because we're getting married, okay? Cove. This is for you. There you go. There you go. Okay. Cool shade. Okay, it was magical. Beyond the chairs for guests was an arch bust bursting with leaves and flowers as if it had sprouted from the ground itself. Everything was aglow, even the speckles of light breaking through the leaves seemed to sparkle more than usual. Oh my god, he's so handsome! Oh my god, I love him so much. The fact he's wearing all white and I'm wearing green, can we just talk about the juxtaposition here? I love that Cove is the one wearing the white on our wedding day. Cove. I just love that. I love him. You stood on the precipice of the venue alone for only a moment. Cove breathed in deeply as he stepped up to your side. Cove is lovely in white. What color did Cove wear in your game, Grassy? Does he not normally wear white? Cove, Devin. Your planner had immediately been informed of your arrival and came to greet you right on schedule. Good afternoon. How good to see you again, and soon after the last time. Does the game not show you what you look like? No, you do get to create yourself, like before you start the new, like, chapter, but you don't get to see it because there's too much, like, potential, for what you could look like. But the new one seems to have you be able to see yourself a little bit, which I think is cool. It was white in mine, but pretty sure I've, seen pics of him in black. I'm interested into what makes him wear white versus black. Like, that would be a very interesting, like, I want to know why, you know? As simple as the comment was, you laughed along easily. It was a wonderful day, and every second was one to enjoy. I have to get going as well. I'm very sleepy, but congrats on the wedding. Enjoy the rest of your... Thanks, Bethany! Thanks for hanging out and being here, and have a lovely sleep. Everyone give Bethany head kisses as they leave for the night. Sleep well! Mwah, mwah. Cove's face was tight and strained. Some sounds murmured out, but nothing intelligible. Luckily, Baxter understood completely and offered a reassuring smile to you both. Then all presence of casualness for the day left. Baxter's poise. A bright fire lit up his dark eyes. It's showtime. Let's get into your proper positions. The wedding parties are being lined up to the front, where they'll stand by while guests are getting directed exactly to open chairs in the audience area.
Does that sound all right?
Please go back further with me so you can be ready for the aisle walk. Having the relief of Cove being there at every stage, you let yourself be led away by Baxter. Cove followed Baxter's lead as well. You went back down to the bend, and there was an eager hastiness in your quick pace. A corner was turned, separating you off from the main scene. Good luck, Devin and Cove. I'll congratulate you when it's over. Oh my god, I'm stressed. Why is my heart going like this right now? Like, why do I feel like I'm actually getting married? Send help. Baxter trusted you both enough to handle the rest and waved coyly over his shoulder as he left. He had to handle more of the arrangements behind the scenes so that you and Cove could have your spotlights. I'm not sure it goes into what he wears, but there's a shirtless glitch. A screenshot can be found in the Steam screenshots. Oh, can you put that in the Discord, Grassy? I'll share it with everyone. That it was only you and him. Oh, he's crying already. And despite him being there all this time, seeing him like that, completely ready to marry you, was breathtaking. Cove Holden. The last name rung especially strongly in your mind because it was a name you would share. Without a word, Cove lifted his arm for you to take. His blue eyes were crystal clear. You could see your future together sparkling within them. Seeing him like that, completely ready to marry you, was breathtaking. You wrapped your arm with his gleefully, creating a secure link. The touch coaxed one of his precious wobbly smiles onto his face. though he still couldn't say a full word. An assistant joined in only briefly to hand you the delicate crafted white poppy and sunflower bouquet you had designed with Cove. You gratefully accepted it, taking hold of the base with your free hand and gripping tight. Posted in Game Talk. Oh my god, here we go. Here we go. This is the most important pause to a wedding ever. I think we needed this. Oh my god, wait. He truly looked divine in his birthday suit. The fact that that's the line they screenshotted it to. He truly looked divine in his suit. Pause the wedding. We have to look at the Cove shirtless. Cove. Why does this glitch happen? Wait, but okay. Can we place a bet whether or not this is gonna happen to us? Because this is in the aquarium, which is the exact place our reception is taking place. We picked the aquarium for the reception too. So if this glitch happens, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna truly just like be deceased in the best sense. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, now back to the wholesomeness. Cove. Back to your regularly scheduled wholesomeness. The assistant made their exit while you're trying to relax by breathing in and the gentle perfume of the bouquet. It was sweet and beautiful, reminding you of Cove. You peeked at him from behind the petals. He was watching you too. While waiting in the winds, footsteps, the distant chatter of crowd, the heavy breathing of your partner, and your own heartbeat pattered in your ears. Your eyes closed as you strained to hear the pew above the rest of the noise. But there was no need. You knew the moment had arrived when everything in distance went silent. It even felt as though your heart froze in place, not wanting to be the one thing to interrupt. The first note was struck. Cove's hold on you tightened into a trembling squeeze. And that was all you needed to move forward. You began to walk toward with the love of your life. He was right there by your side. His legs were shaking too, and from the corner of your eyes, you could see his cheeks were wet with heavy tears. Why is he so cute? I can't handle this. Okay, you never beamed brighter. You were an absolute sobbing mess of emotions. You smiled softly with tears gathering in the corner of your eyes. You were stone stiff from nerves. You were unsteady on your feet, afraid you might faint before even Cove had the chance. You had resisted the urge to drag him down the aisle to get it over with. I'm just saying tears were gathering in our eyes too. You watched as his mouth opened, then closed, as if he was speaking to you, though if he was saying actual words, they were too quiet for you to hear. Look at his face! The crowd was full of joyous smiles and loving glances, but no one made a move to distract you or Cove away from each other. You wouldn't have noticed if they had tried. All you were aware of in the entire world was a wonderful man holding desperately onto your arm. And how on one of your shared strides his knees locked and Cove stumbled. You rooted yourself in place, pulling up against Cove to keep him from falling completely. He leaned into you and you both swayed to the side, but he stayed on his feet. The two of you straightened yourselves out and kept going. You were equally committed to reaching the end of the aisle. It may not have been graceful, but to you it was beautiful. And you made it. When you arrived, you loosened your hold on one another to change positions. You stood in front of him, face to face. Softly, Cove's lips parted again, and finally, that time you knew what it was, your name. He lifted one hand to wipe tears from the crinkle of your eye. He brought his head lower to be closer to yours, still caressing your face even after those tears were gone. He's so cute, Loki, I know! I literally have never shipped a person harder in my life. I love Cove so much. Your tears are soothed too, and you pressed your forehead against his. Forehead touches. Forehead touches. Forehead touches. For anyone here for the saga of this game knows forehead touches. We love them. The delicate way he held you brought so much comfort, you were able to feel more in control of your emotions. Full of love and gratefulness, you nuzzled against the one person who impacted you in such a way. A hush came over the crowd as the justice of peace began to speak. It was time. The ceremony speech flowed over you. You listened to each word. The sentences faded out of focus the second they passed. It was more like having a dream. Thoughts and the feelings in your own mind held far more weight than anything outside of it. I don't know about that, Loki. I mean, as a Loki lover forever 99, I understand, but as a Cove shrimp forever 99, Cove is cute. What did break through to you were Cove's bashful gestures, shuffling feet, quivering eyes, a palpable nervous energy that was barely swallowed down. Not one single movement went by unnoticed. Devin, Cove, would you please take hold of one another to say that we may begin the hand fasting? Oh, I forgot we chose that! I don't know what this is. With firm certainty, I know Pyra knew what this was. You placed Cove's right hand in yours and you took your left hand in his. You crossed them together and you let the comfort of his presence fill you. The officiator took out the ceremonial cord and began the ritual. With each twist and turn of the cord, your world narrowed down to the one person that you're always felt tied to through fate. I love that! This cord represents the bond you share. Even during the most difficult times when you might want to pull apart, may you find stability in supporting each other. Because if you remember to take a deep breath for clarity, you'll discover that like this knot, there's a strength to be found in this union. You'll always be stronger together with your love entwined. At that, Cove tightened his grip. Sniffling, you sent a silent thanks to every choice that somehow brought you here. And with that, the hand fasting was complete. You both were brimming with emotions. Carefully, you and Cove slipped out of the cords without breaking the knot. Even when it was safely put aside, you could feel the weight of it pressing against your skin. Before you could completely lose yourself in Cove's gaze, your attention crystallized in an instant. The Jesuit priest has said vows. I finished the wedding DLC the same day it came out, and since then I played it 3 times. I've saw it every single time. Hi, Sophia. Welcome in. Oh my god. You're in good company. Grassy is also obsessed with it. I'm currently obsessed with it. I think we're all kind of obsessed with it. I have so many feelings. What did you choose? How are your feelings? Please tell me everything. I'm trying really hard not to cry right now because I'm trying to read, but I have emotions. It struck Cove as well because his knees visibly locked from underneath him. In slow motion, he began to tip backwards. You instinctually grabbed onto his wrists, pulling on his sleeves in an attempt to keep your beloved from leaning further. Numerous sets of arms rose from all around as both of your wedding parties poised themselves to catch Cove if he fell their way. Cove is so cute. Cove regained control of his legs and caught himself by anchoring back on the ball of his right foot. He kept that firmly planted. He was still so absorbed in the moment that the notion to be embarrassed by his near fate didn't take up any space in his mind. It was as if it hadn't happened, at least for Cove. The justice of the peace, however, lifted a brow, assessing if your groom was physically capable of completing the ceremony. For all of his trembling, Cove stood stiffly, a pillar that could not be moved. It was enough to appease your justice of the peace into continuing. The couple has chosen to prepare their own vows, and they will share them now. Cove Holden, please begin. Oh god, I'm gonna cry. He took in a long breath through his nose. After so much build-up to the wedding and all the effort that it took to create... I know! A hurdle for him, articulating his deepest feelings about you out loud. The first time I played it, I chose everything that reminded me of Cove in the moments in between stages and couldn't have been more perfect. We did similarly. I picked the wedding wing was like based on the poppies. We picked the redwood forest because of the one of the stages. We proposed on the poppy field. And then we picked the aquarium because we went to a date to the aquarium before and he loved it, so we picked that one for the reception. And then like the parties and all that stuff, we did the same thing. And then we picked the dance music based off of what we thought they would have had like music growing up together. Ah! I love how many references to previous moments there were in the wedding. I'm so excited. Cove looked into your purple eyes, searching for the words he needed. You waited, impressing as much encouragement as you could into your gaze. Yes, you chose the same! Yes, Sophia! Finally, Cove began his vows.
Devin.
Okay, here we go. Everyone prepare yourselves. I'm already gonna cry. Fuck! Okay. Devin. We met when we were 8 years old. And well, I wanted to run away to Nevada somehow that first summer. I moved into the neighborhood. Truthfully, I planned to do it before my dad and I had even made it to Sunset Bird. It didn't matter what it was gonna be like. How could it ever be okay? Thank you for the alert, Jackie! But I saw you the first day. I was there, and nothing went the way I thought. You changed everything in my life. He sunk lower into himself sheepishly and offered a goofy grin.
Well...
I did still make an attempt in my child mind genius, but it was just gonna be for a visit. And you came to find me. You tracked me down all the way to the end of the town. Every far-off image played out in his mind brought further joy to Co's future. He laughed nostalgically. You picked my side over your own sisters and put up with me even when I'd be pretty selfish. You were there for me when I was actually upset.
Thank you.
I got to have a childhood, thanks to you. You didn't let me lose it all because I was sad. I had someone I could make those memories I cherished with. Making sandcastles, watching the clouds, catching fireflies, and everything else. But then puberty happened, and so many things seemed harder than before. At least you and me had really become friends by then. It definitely helped me survive it all. Oh, we did a slow burn, by the way, everyone who wasn't here for some of the earlier games. We did a slow burn version of, like, dating Cove. Especially my, in hindsight, painfully obvious crush on you. That felt unbearable to me, and I bet it was probably frustrating to everyone who was watching, too. I could barely manage sitting next to you on a bed and sharing a smoothie with you. Thank God that hormonal nightmare didn't screw things up for me. Genuinely, relief came out from Cove in a sigh. But I don't know how I was supposed to act normal when you'd look at me so nicely with such beautiful eyes. He began to get taken into them as he spoke, his own eyes growing hazy and his smile wobbling. Cove shook his head to force himself out of the self-inflicted trance. That was the time I started sneaking out to visit you through the window. I wanted to be with you when I was happy, or when something was wrong. I couldn't stay away. Lucky for me, you didn't mind spending your days or nights in my company. With a light touch of willfulness, Cove recalled experience after experience from those years. Going on trips together, big ones and small ones, just hanging around our houses in the neighborhood, talking about who we were as people. And that time there was a sun shower. We'd stick together during parties, and you could even make it fun for someone as socially awkward as I am. As he continued to reminisce, he chuckled adorably. And I started getting closer with your family too. Well, at least your mom's. Elizabeth wasn't exactly interested in being good friends when we were teens. I appreciate that you always put up with my parents and their wild plans, by the way. Cove ran a hand down his face tiredly, though the amused smile on his face wasn't wiped away. Thank you for the follow, Sophia! You chose the poppy fields for the Saturday because of the field be special for us, but you wanted to share a part with everyone. Yeah, Grassy, I love that you chose to do that. I think that's also a really beautiful thing. Slow burns are so frustrating and satisfying at the same time. I love tension. I love tension. Tension is just so good. It's so good for romance. Currently sobbing and sliding down the wall. I love her so much. I do too, literally. Oh my gosh. Cove ran a hand down his face. I already read that. And speaking of wild plans, I sure got upset when you told me about how my dad offered you $20 to be friends when we were kids, huh?
That's...
I feel bad about that now, that I yelled at him. He wasn't trying to make things worse. It just meant a lot to me that the relationship between us was our own. I hated thinking about all the things outside of my control, all the ways the world was bigger than I knew. But I am glad that I had the chance to talk to him about it in the end, and that we got to talk about it too. Thanks for being honest about it.
I remember.
I can still remember how badly I wanted to be grown up as an awkward tween, and then suddenly we graduated high school, and it really was time to be an adult. Getting my first job, taking my first long drive without parents, accepting how small our little town was in the grand scheme of things. Just trying to figure out what I was even going to do with my life. I was lost, and all I wanted was to make sure I didn't lose what mattered when things had to change, most of all, you. You were my special someone. That was when I had fallen in love with you. I'm gonna cry. I literally am holding it together by a thread. By a thread! Have a great D&D, Grassy! And please, thank you. I hope you had so much fun. Thanks for being here. god. You were the first person I was able to open up to about my sexuality when I finally knew for sure what it was. And you were the one who would tell me when I was wrong. His speech of all that he treasured about you and went on in an uninterrupted stream. He couldn't stop himself. I could talk to you about anything, like the accident when I got my scar. I knew you would understand. And as mundane and drudging adult stuff could be, I had a source of relief from it because you had been around. You let me have taste of your food and you always gave me the best gifts. You loved me even though I'm not a cool merman who could take you on a magical adventure. That conversation! Oh my god.
Thanks for waiting for me.
And you lived with how long it took me to be able to do anything romantic. I was feeling a lot and didn't do a great at managing it, but I was so clingy too. I never wanted to be apart then. I think I'm a little more of a big boy about it now. Maybe? He at long last stopped to breathe before his emotion-driven attempt to convey himself continued in full force. Blaga. You make me happy in ways no one else ever could. My dream came true when I got to be your actual for real boyfriend. And well, a lot has happened, huh? We're definitely adults. We're at our own wedding.
It's okay.
We made it through it all the months and months growing up and through making this day happen. You're such a charming human being. It was the happiest moment of my life when you proposed to me, until now anyways. I couldn't believe you wanted to be with me as much as I wanted to be with you. I don't want to try to imagine how many tears you've wiped away from me in all these years. You helped me have the confidence to grow into a man, and you can still make me feel like a kid again. With you, nothing ever really ends. It just begins again in a new way. And basically, what I'm trying to say is, no matter how hard I try, I can never thank you enough for being mine and letting me be yours. Cove wept heavily, no longer able to stay above the wave of emotions that opening himself up so fully had wrought.
I love you.
I love you so much, Devin. And he flufully wiped a sleeve against his eyes. Every tear the fabric caught was immediately replaced. Those are my vows. I don't know how you're supposed to end them. I hope you'll marry me. He references all of the things that we do through the entire game. Oh my god. What do we... I don't even know how to process this. I'm trying so hard not to cry. Oh my god. I couldn't stand how sweet he was, and your eyes, yeah, and you were crying too. I'm crying too, y'all. Thank you, Cove. Devin, you may say yours. Fuck, did we prepare vows? The justice of the peace had all but disappeared from your mind. All that you had been aware of was Cove, but that request couldn't be ignored. Now you would have to take on the endeavor of explaining everything Cove was to you, and everything had been to you throughout knowing him almost your entire life. You chose to say, I don't, what do we say? I don't even, I can't process my emotions. Do we say, I want to thank you, I promise, I adore, Cove, all I want is to tell who you are to me. I kind of like the last one. Who you are to me, what you mean to me. I promise. You wrote promise, Loki? I don't know. Okay. Promise. Promise could be good. We can do promise. I promise. I can do them all? Fuck yeah. I promise. Maybe we should do promise last then. Let's do promise last. You're my beloved crybaby. You're a wonderful man. You're my precious ocean boy. You're my sunshine. You're my soulmate. You're my space cadet. I can't. I'm leaving. I need to leave. I need to take a moment to process my emotions. Goodbye. Oh my god. I kind of want to say space cadet. That's how we, okay, hear me out. Space cadet, because when we first met him on the Poppy Hill, we called him Space Cadet. And then when we proposed to him, we also, after the conversation, called him Space Cadet. And so I feel like we have to say Space Cadet. Although I really like Soulmate, and I really like Crybaby, and I really like Sunshine too. I don't know. I don't want to call him a crybaby maybe during a wedding when I'm also crying. But that is also kind of an inside joke. I want to pick our inside jokes, you know? The Space Cadet, I feel like that's really cute, right? I don't know. It goes with the, like, we did it. You're my Space Cadet. And I know you were meant to be together, and you're the one I'll love for the rest of my life. And I'll be there for you no matter what. And I'm the luckiest person in the world that I get to say that. And you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. And you were too emotional to say anything else. No, we're gonna keep going. I'm not gonna cry. And I'm the luckiest person in the world to get to say that. Oh my god. Cove covered his face with trembling hands. He was murmuring, crying, and all around about to pass out again. Your Justice of Peace nodded contently, accepting the vows as your sworn oath to your very nearly husband. Oh, that was all we got to say? Damn it! I wanted to say more. I had so much love to tell you about, Cove. Oh my gosh. Cove Holden, do you take nerdy.berdie to be your lawful wedded spouse? He let his hands fall, ready to face you directly. Cove's shaking, dripping wet eyes stayed locked to yours. And in the adorably cracking squeak you knew so well, he answered, I do. I think you pick one of the first three. It keeps going. Oh, okay, wait, we're going back. Hello, we're going back. Oh, wait, no, I don't need to reread his vows because, thank you. Okay, we're gonna do ours. Okay, I promise. We're gonna start with the promise. I promise. To get you a house directly on the beach someday. To always leave a window open for you. I promise to always leave a window open for you. To let you have joint ownership of my shell collection. To go along with your spontaneous dawn adventures. I'm gonna cry. Ah! Oh my god, why is this so cute? To comfort you when your anxieties make you scared. To love you and as we both continue to grow and change. I'm doing all the ones that just mean things to us, right? To wipe your tears when they fall. To continue letting you have taste of my food. And along with that, I want to thank you for being there. Oh my god, we can talk about the biological families. For helping me feel comfortable in my body. I love this game. You've always been able to reassure me about that. For remembering things about me, even stuff that wouldn't matter to anyone else. It matters a lot to me. For all the times you insisted I get the bed. You're a very stubborn gentleman. For sharing your parents. They're a real perk of being with you. For being there when I found out about my biological parents. That was important and I'll never forget your support then. And besides that, I adore everything about you. Everything, Cove. I adore you all. Your wavy eyebrows. How excited you get about food. How easy you are to fluster. How you rub your arm when you're nervous. I'm gonna start crying. Why is this game so sweet? That you're such a troublemaker. That you're so open with your emotions. And how clingy you are. Yep, I do. I love that. The way you eagerly sip your drinks. I love your laugh and smile. And simply in general. Cove's blush had crept all the way to his neck after you let yourself get carried away, listing every detail about him and that charmed you. Okay, now we do the You're My Space Cadet. And you're and I'm the luckiest person in the world gets to say that. Oh my god. Cove covered his face with trembling hands. He was laughing, crying, and all around about to pass out again. Your justice of peace nodded contentedly. Okay, now we go. Okay. He let his hands fall to face you directly. Cove's shaking, dripping wet eyes stayed locked to yours. And in the adorably squeak you knew so well, he answered.
I do.
I do. It was absolutely heart-stopping, but you turned to your response had come. And do you, nerdy.berdie, take Cove Holden to be your lawful wedded husband? I feel like I would be screaming right now, let's be real. Cove's smile was radiant and his tears were constant. You sincerely made him happier than anything ever had. Your maid of honor and Cove's best man stepped forward. They each held out a small box that contained a wedding band. Cove's hand shook as he reached for the tiny treasure chest.
I love you, bitch. Oh my gosh. I ain't gonna never stop loving you, bitch.
And the purple amber sparkled gorgeously in the light. Oh, I forgot we picked purple rings. Black and purple. You gladly offered your hand to Cove. He cradled it gently in one of his own. For a few seconds, all he could— that was literally our vows. My vow at my wedding. I love you, bitch. I ain't never gonna stop loving you, bitch. It's true though, that was our vows. Cove was so still for a moment, but then he used his free hand to bring the band towards your fingertip. Also, welcome back, Pyra. He carefully slid the ring to its proper place on your finger. Your gaze locked onto it, utterly amazed. Swallowing thickly, Cove raised his hand out for you. You held it in return and brushed your thumb across his palm. It was your turn. You received the matching ring from its box. It slid onto Cove's finger beautifully. He gasped under his breath, fixating on the ring. You tenderly squeezed his hand, and Cove finally met your eyes again. His cheeks he held you with an electrifying stare. You were in awe of the whole moment. Then by the power vested in me, by the state of California, I pronounce you husband and spouse. You can now kiss. Cove's knees may have started knocking together once more, but his gaze was nothing but eager. That's so cute! Okay, wait. You reach for each other in a loving kiss. You kiss Cove on the cheek. You kiss his forehead. You threw yourself into his arms. Into a passionate kiss. Waiting even a second longer was impossible. You sprang forward like a shot and tangled yourself around him. Your husband— our husband! Stumbled back, was able to keep proper hold of you as you knew he would. Your lips connected with Cove's in an urgent expression of your love for him. He returned the kiss just as needily. You used the thumb to carefully push away the tears still clinging to his eyelashes. The beautiful flowers of your bouquet tickled against your skin as Cove's body pressed it up against you. After your faces shifted away just a hairbreadth so you could see one another fully, his expression was wholly adoring, and you could still feel his warmth lingering. The crowd erupted with cheers and applause around you. Giddy, you ducked your head towards Cove's shoulder and laughed. All around you, confetti rained down like delicate flower petals, your smile widening, watching your friends and family excitedly throw it into the air in celebration. Peeking over at you, Cove realized that he was barely paying any attention to the jubilance around you. Instead, his gaze was solely fixated on you. Okay. He gently took your hand. He linked his arms around yours. He walked by your side. He scooped you into his arms. You scooped Cove into your arms. I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. I can lift my husband with purpose. That's me lifting Cove. I think we're gonna hold hands though. You interlaced your fingers with his and took a deep, steadying breath. His skin miraculously seemed to blush even redder at that. You went down the aisle gleefully as you passed by your friends and family. You caught several thumbs up, proud nods, and cheery waves. Some were even still clapping, stifling your vision threatened to fill with tears after witnessing more than a handful of people dabbing their eyes with tissues. When you briefly came close enough to Mr. Holden, he patted Cove on the shoulder. Despite his weepy expression, you could tell that he had the greatest pride for his son. You kissed Cove on the cheek. Driven by the absolute joy of the day, your hand slid up to cup his jaw, and Cove understood what you had in mind. You pressed a big kiss to his cheek and then shared a quiet, close moment, staring up at him through your eyelashes. After leaving the ceremony in late afternoon, it was time for wedding photos. You and Cove met up with the wedding party. Wow, we had the wedding before we took photos? Really? The excursion was filled with fun and laughter while the photographers set out to get the ideal shots. Cove lovingly held your face, not afraid to show his affection in front of the camera for a change. His thumb brushed lightly across your cheek, and then he pressed his forehead to yours. His breath was warm on your skin, and you closed your eyes shut to relish in his love. When he pulled away, you were speechless. But you also had a feeling that was going to be one of the best shots of the lot. When the sun began to set about an hour later, you knew it was time to rejoin with everyone else. And so you eagerly got back into the car again to finally see the second location. Oh, he has a shirt on. Dang it! I was kind of hoping it would bug. I just think it would be really funny. You and Cove entered through the main doors. Entered the reception space. There were friends and family were patiently waiting for this moment. The room filled with familiar cheers, whistles, and applause at your arrival. As the noise lessened, you began to hear various calls of congrats and welcome backs. The love emanating from your friends and families was palpable. Baxter made his way to the center of the room and began to gesture people back. The rest of the staff followed his lead and made space in the crowd. When the path ahead had cleared out, you took a deep breath. It was time. Are we dancing? The beginning note of your first dance song played. You heard the few of the guests speak in hushed tones, anticipation rising as a melody kicked in. It was moderately paced. Cove met your eyes as ready as he could be, and you took his hands. You heard the high-pitched whine of a microphone and saw Baxter smiling. And now, the couple will have their first dance. While your legs were shaking from all the acute emotions still lingering from the ceremony, your joy from getting to dance with your husband gave you the strength to make your way to the dance floor. Cove did his best to keep up with the cadence of the track. Every so often, he'd have to take a cautious glance down to make sure he wasn't about to crush your toes. Your moves were amazing. We're rewriting history. Cove is a great dancer. Step, step, turn, step. You were one with the music, and your routine was on fire. You felt absolutely alive. Your dancing was so good that you were able to cover for Cove's struggles. He laughs as you sweat up and down the floor, both of you keeping up with the tempo. The two of you gallivanted across the floor, hearts pounding and expressions bright. The partway through the dance, the music reached its slowest part. The dance for this section was simple and allowed you a chance to prepare for the more complicated steps coming up. I'm not super about marriage as a thing, but this is pretty cute. No, me neither, Pyra. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of marriages, period. Just because I feel like institutional stuff, you know? But this is fucking adorable. This is just expressions of love, and I'm here for it. Pyre, were you here for the hand binding? Because that was really fucking cute. This is the first moment to ourselves since we've arrived. Cove clearly was grateful for the chance to finally talk to you. You're stunning. I'm gonna blush. Rather than trying to find words, he focused on making sure that you kept dancing correctly. Cove flushed a light rosy pink and beamed at you. This makes me think of that night of the summer soiree. Cove let out a stuttering laugh. His face went through a roller coaster of emotions before settling on amused. I hope that I'm at least a better dancer now than I was then, but...
Me too.
Honestly, I was thinking about that too. I remember exactly how it felt dancing with you years ago. I had a lot of hopes then. I wanted it to last forever, but I also desperately wanted to skip ahead so that I know what things would be like for us in the future. And now, actually, we're here. We made it. Ko sighed dreamily as he looked into your eyes. Thank God the ceremony is over and we can just be married now. Not that one in his back! That screech! He winced as soon as he realized how his words sounded. He shook his head. I think I was asleep for that. I was dozing for a bit. Oh, you're fine, Pyre. Don't worry about it. Sleep is important. Take naps. Do what you need to do. I just kept thinking that I'd ruin something or something terrible would happen. At this point, a truck full of apples could come through and destroy dinner and I wouldn't care. I'm trying to tell you wouldn't get depressed over missing out on a meal. You pictured him sulking sad and that he didn't get any wedding cake. Then the music reached the bridge of the song. With complex choreography, both of you had to focus more on the dance. That stopped your conversation in its tracks. The two of you became absorbed into dancing once more as the song ended and grew closer and closer. The final note was struck and the dance ended in a spinning flourish. The dance ended with you dipping Cove. The dance ended with Cove dipping you. The dance ended with you both landing the final step. I'm gonna say we spun. We do some spinning here. The two of you pulled each other close and twirled together. The wind blew past your face and you both started giggling like children. Faster and faster you spun until you ran out of breath from your joyful laughter. Cove's lips brushed over your ear. You're a really good partner. Your face felt hot and it wasn't only from the dancing. You heard a clap that steadily transferred into wild applause. Turning to face the crowd, you looked over your friends and family cheering. You whipped out your brow? Oh, I thought it was a bow. You bowed, there we go. You kept your shoulders back and formally bowed to your audience. The clapping got louder. Tilting your head back to your husband, you caught his proud smile. Cove continued to watch you rather than switching his attention to the guests. He twisted his wedding band bashfully around his finger. With the first dance done, you both left the open floor to join the others and properly greet your seated guests. Cove offered you his arm to take once more. Yeah, we're gonna take that arm. Your arm wrapped around his, fitting as snugly together as matching pieces of a puzzle. It was a hold that could not easily be broken. Physically and legally linked to the other, you and Cove went forward as one. After only a few strides, you arrived at the nearest table and arrangement. It had close family all the way around, including your mom and Ma. The two had scooted their chairs closer and were eagerly whispering to one another, trading words of excitement back and forth. Feeling awkward about having to interrupt, though, realizing there was no reason to feel that way, Cove cleared his throat to announce yours in his presence.
Hey.
Hi. Look at our moms! Snapping out of their private forever, your parents turned the enthusiasm straight towards the two of you. They're so pretty! You reached over the table to take their hands. They held their hands forward for you to get a good grip of them. After keeping your hold long enough for your palms to be warmed up by theirs, you let go in order to stand up straight.
Hello.
Kiddos, it's great to finally get to talk to you today. Ma folded her hands together on the table, stopped daintily, and followed Mom with her own greeting. Congratulations to you both. It's so good to see you today. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Of course. The ceremony was a memorable one. Those vows, huh? It was truly unforgettable. All the effort paid off then. Hearing people actually discuss the wedding as a real event, Cove became tongue-tied. Your Ma watched over the both of you as doting as it was knowing.
Have fun.
Have fun greeting everyone else. We'll be here if you need us. Yeah, you've got to just try the food while you're busy with your big day. What is the gender identity of the character we're playing? We are non-binary. So we go by they, them. And you can, in this game, I think you can choose she, her, he, him, or they, them. And then in the next game, you get to customize it and you get to pick how often like people use they, them, she, her stuff. It's really, really cool. They did a lot of updating for the next game, which I'm really excited about. But we are non-binary. They, them. I love you, moms. Thanks again, moms. Cove. Ma's fingers squeezed together even more tightly, a visual representation of their strength she was exerting not to cheer inappropriately loudly. While Ma attempted to not spook Cove after his tepid attempt to use the new title, Mom had been no qualms saying something embarrassing. Woohoo! We got upgraded! It's about time! Pam! Cove's gaze immediately dropped to his feet and his near constant flush from the day reappeared. You gave your husband a reassuring pat on the arm, proud and pleased at his braveness. Okay, bye. Cove scuttled off, needing an escape, and you gave your parents a wave as you stuck by him. Goodbye. Good luck out there. Your Cove's mom took their glasses of wine in hand and clinked them together celebratorily. To Devin and Cove. To Devin and Cove. As matching images of each other, they slipped the drink in good cheer. Looking at the same table were Cove's parents. They were taking it easy until Cliff noticed you and Cove had eyes on him. His grin ramped up to 1,000 watts.
Hey!
Hey, it's our local celebrities of the day. Cliff folded his arms, self-satisfied.
Nerdy Sebi A.
Hi, Izzy! Holy heck, thank you for the free subby 3 heckin' months. How you doing? That guy Izzy in my chat. Everyone, if you're not following that guy Izzy, you should be, because he is hilarious and wholesome and plays a lot of games I think you would like, and you get quality content like this. Yep, like this. So why are you following that guy Izzy is my question to you. I love this new emote, by the way. Thank you. I love the cat bug. Cat bug is a theme on this channel. You know, we got the sound alerts. We got the emotes. No, I'm serious. Don't. Oh my God, please me. It's true. Izzy, you're in time for the wedding. You know, well, technically we already got married, but we're doing the assumption right now. Ooh, how's Resident Evil going? Are you enjoying Resident Evil? Also, that was the best clip I've seen. I just need you to know that. I need you to know that. Cliff folded his arms, self-satisfied. The wedding's all been going to plan. I'm pretty sure, but I'll keep watching still, and if there's anything else I can do, just give me a shout. Cove brightened in a similar way. His tone was full of affection for his father. Hi, Dad, and thanks. You clapped his back happily. There was a satisfying smack against his shoulder blade as Cliff didn't budge from the gesture. He found it invigorating. Cliff slyly winked, waving you and Cove off.
Right.
This game looks hot as heck. Everyone in this game is hot, Izzy. Literally everyone is. It's a problem. It is a problem. Oh, Resi 4 is really good. I haven't played it. I played Resi 2 and Resi 3, but I haven't had a chance to play 4 yet. I'll have to come by and catch one of your streams for it. I've been trying to avoid spoilers, but at the same time, I feel like I saw the end of 8 watching you play, so who cares? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, though. I don't have to hog you. Everyone wants to see you. Okay, see you later. This game... Izzy, stop! Yeah, I saw the end of 8 because of you. I was in chat. I was literally like, I can't let anyone know I'm here because this is gonna be... Oh my God, yes, bye, Dad. Obviously, we have to pick that. A loud gasp escaped Cliff. You glanced over at Cove for his reaction. He grinned sweetly with a misty eyes, agreeing wholeheartedly with your statement. Why are you sorry? I did it to myself, Izzy. I was like, I want to know how this game ends. And Izzy's playing it, and I've been watching Izzy play it, so I'm just gonna watch it. I'm just gonna do it, so it's fine. Now, all that was needed was to see if you get Cliff's own acceptance. You didn't have to wait long for it. Overwhelmed with emotion, his voice squeaked at first, but he barely noticed. He was beaming with joy. Of course. I don't know how I ended up with 2 kids as good as you. Cliff surveyed his 2 children proudly with his chest puffed out. I have to say, well, actually, I'll say it a little later. You'll have to wait for my big speech. I forgot they're giving speeches! Here it comes. Get ready, Devin.
Come on.
Come on, sport. It's gonna be great. Now, go on.
Thanks, Daddy.
Tyra! Thank you for being here all these years. I wouldn't have wanted it anywhere else. Then finally you rounded the table's edge and reached the side where Kyra sat. Kyra? I can't figure out how to say her name. She was patiently sipping at a steaming cup of coffee, placing it down when she noted it was time for the meet and greet with the 2 of you.
Hey.
Hey, Mom. Why is she so pretty? Hello, babies. I'm included now. Oh my God, I'm gonna give her a hug. It took some stretching but you were able to gain enough access to Kira's space in order to give her a solid hug. She put her arms around your shoulders gladly. You shared that affectionate touch for a moment and then shifted yourself back up. Thanks for coming. It's really nice to see you. It's fantastic to be here. This has been wonderful. Also, that was a marvelous dance. Such an incredible way to make an entrance. And I'm impressed you found this place. Talk about the perfect locale for my little ocean man. I like the fish. Cove kicked the tip of his shiny shoes at nothing in particular, and his shoulders shifted from side to side shyly. Cove was forever incapable of seeming like a full-grown man in front of his mom. Kara's brows bent as she looked at him adoringly, but then she shut her eyes and brought out more energy.
See you soon.
I'll see you, the two of you, again soon. You should go exploring the rest of your exquisite reception. Oh, alright, probably should go do that. Bye! Bye, Mom! She froze for a split. I've been calling you Mom 3 for years, okay? Why are we acting surprised here? Do these blushed faces, right? They're so cute. I can't. Literally all of them are cute. Every person in this game is a cutie. She froze for a split second. Her hand flew to her mouth as her gaze landed back on you. Slowly, she lowered it, revealing the widest smile you'd ever seen on her face. In gentlest tone, Kara cooed. Goodbye, baby. Cove was positively melting from happiness, seeing you and your shared mom speak to one another that way. You're wonderful, Mom 3, and so are you. Then you had to continue on to the next table in the seating arrangement. There were still guests waiting to see the both of you. You had a pleasant conversation with your aunt and uncle on Mom's side. They couldn't have been more pleased that you had found someone who made you as happy as Cove did. Right by was their daughter, your cousin, as well as your older sister. They were throwing looks not so subtly, waiting to speak to their piece, but didn't interrupt your chat with other family. Look at my cousin though. Look at my cousin. She's stunning. But when it was officially their turn, the ladies placed down glasses of juice and put on matching curved smiles. Cove shifted on his feet embarrassedly. They didn't even need to say anything. I'm gonna give them hugs. Cluck. Butt spot, really be on it. Cluck. You were able to shimmy around the furniture to get yourself behind both. You then wrapped your arms across their backs. Lee squished against you while giggling, and Liz gave a true big sibling ruffle on the top of your head. Buttspot, don't just cluck. Cluckspot, don't just cluck. Buttspot really said, make me, Izzy. Timo! Oh my god, Timo's here. Hello. Okay. After the embrace, you slipped out from between them to head over to Cove again. What was her voice? We did good work, didn't we? It's nice being able to relax after all the preparations. Totally. Everything went incredibly. You're both beautiful, and it was just touching and amazing and perfect. Cove laughed airily. Lee's energy levels were as high as ever. Hello to you too. Mm-hmm. So I haven't forgotten who called this very thing happening in this very place. Cove's face dropped into his hands. I knew it. Of course you were gonna bring that up. Over 10 years later. At least I can never top the predictability levels of the couple that is Devin and Cove. And you should be glad someone believed in your union. Cove could only shrug with a sardonic smile. We weren't even dating though, Liz. We weren't even dating. You were like, you two are gonna get married. And I was like, we're not together, sister. And then look what happened. Fucking Liz. You must be relieved there were no accidental drownings with those waterworks going on during the ceremony. Lee couldn't suppress a snicker. Cove, on the other hand, pouted indignantly. To be serious for a moment, you sensitive souls did very well with those vows. Thanks for all that and everything. It was nice to see you. Aww. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yes, you are welcome, and thanks for coming to see us on your wedding tour. Go enjoy your stunning future, Devin and Cove. I love you both. Bye. I love everyone. I love you too. We love you back. With everyone at that, why is everyone in this game hot? That's literally what Izzy came in and said too. the chorus of why are people hot? Because this game said pan panic. That's why, honestly. With everyone at the spot properly greeted, you and your husband began to stroll along to the next one. But Cove then stopped in place. Pairing that with a half turn of his body, you could recognize the laser-focused stare on his face. He had noticed something appetizing, and it was simple to the pinpoint what on one of the nearby tables were carefully chosen appetizers for the reception. Without needing to be prompted, you went along with Cove to pursue the spread. Cove plucked one of the hot morsels and stuffed it well in his mouth. Oh my god. And he made sure to grab a second to take with you as well. I love how detailed you like get with this. Like they're like, okay, you're greeting all your family, you had your wedding, now you're eating food that you picked out. Like, wow. The two of you munched on little delights, enjoying the much-needed pit stops. The food was delicious. Cove swallowed the full-sized bite and took a break from filling up his cheeks to smirk instead. Oh, he's doing the Chubby Bunny challenge. Our appetizers are way better than the ones at the Cypress fancy parties. Cypress could suck it! Cove snickered, but left the topic there. The last appetizer Cove picked out disappeared behind his lips. Then he instinctually shifted his fingers to his pant leg before stopping himself. Being on his best behavior, Cove instead borrowed a napkin from off a table to clean his hands. You polished up your snack shortly after and for once followed Cove's example for tidying yourselves. Your arms were linked as they had been before. You then ended that interlude to get right back into the thick of the party. On the more boisterous tables had Derek, Terry, Miranda huddled together. They were celebrating wholeheartedly. Hi, everybody. That pleasant greeting was paired with a little wave. Your friends turned in union after realizing you were there. Then the trio of buddies lifted cups full of juice and cheers to you and Cove.
What's up?
Look at our friends! Oh, they're so handsome! I can't do Derek's voice. Sup, and congratulations!
Thanks.
Hi, thank you for letting us come. Hey, congrats you two. I'm gonna give them fist bumps. Fist bumps were had all around. Cove shyly basked in affection of his closest friends, sucking it up like a delicate sapling in the sunshine. Thanks, and thanks for coming.
Come on.
Come on, dude. I wouldn't have missed it. Why am I doing this to Derek? I am so sorry, Derek. We had to be. Cove and Devin are having their wedding. It's momentous. Also, you were in the wedding party. We're really enjoying the reception. Don't worry about us if you have to go do important couple stuff. I appreciate that. It's weird to say, but we have important couple stuff to do today. We're greeting all the guests right now. Uh-huh. We'll see you later, though.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Congratulations again. I hope you'll always be friends.
See you later.
Safe travels. Enjoy yourselves. I got really lucky. I got really lucky. I got really lucky getting to know both of you. I got really lucky. Really lucky. I think they have a typo. Unless I'm reading that wrong. It was a sweet, earnest declaration that was immediately followed up by a rushed addition. But that isn't a goodbye. I'm not going anywhere. I've gotten that time management thing under control. Okay. Miranda and Derek awed as Terry wiped a dramatic imaginary tear from his eye. Thanks, Devin. Cove skipped ahead, boiled by the brief but fun interaction, and he went right along with him. From table to table, you continued to greet each attendee of your wedding. From family who flew from Hawaii to be there to those who lived right by your place, you appreciated everyone who took the time to come celebrate this day. There was so much love to go around, and every conversation was just as enjoyable as the last. The one person you hadn't seen during your rounds but made himself known when Bastard's voice echoed out through the space, amplified by a microphone. Oh god. Good evening. Thank you all for attending the wedding of Devin and Cove Holden Birdie. The dad joke will never die. Cove is always holding me.
Exciting.
We will now begin the bouquet toss. A smarting of applause and light murmurings follow the announcement. Baxter let that settle before continuing. Cove, Devin, please come to the open area in the center. Anyone who wants to can play can. You and your husband eagerly obliged to start the tradition, going over to stand alone on the cleared floor, but it wasn't for long. Lee hopped out of her seat right away, taking Liz by the arm to bring her along for the ride. Your sister wasn't as impossibly excited as your cousin, but she was intrigued. Miranda rose to her feet as well, her boyfriend pumping her up to win the whole walkover. Wait, that's so cute! Terry's pumping Miranda up to win. Does that mean Terry's gonna propose? She giggled backly and waved at Terry while waiting in the forming crowd. Derek decided to get in on things as well, grinning amusedly among the rest of the players. Kyra looked on at the group, taking a second to consider, but ultimately she became another member of the game. She strolled over to the collection of her younger folks and called out for Cliff to join with her. Come on, don't be such a snore. He shook his head, sinking lower in the chair. Lee, Miranda, Kyra, and Liz all began to wave and jump, encouraging Cliff. Terry spoke up from the next table over. You can do it, man.
Right.
All right. He used the edge of the table to push out of his chair and stood up. The ladies cheered as Cliff strode towards the crowd. Your moms giggled, leaned closer together, and whispered amongst one another. They were eager to be audience members to the spectacular. And no one else motioned to join, so Baxter kept things moving. Thank you for grouping up in such a timely manner. We've got a wonderful crowd for this. Now keep your eyes on Devin. They will be tossing the banquet in only a moment. Devin, all you need to do is look the other way and throw the banquet, why can I not talk? Banquet, bouquet. Please throw a banquet. Take the table, and just flip it. It's a really fun game to see who gets hit with food. You won't regret it. Everyone might get some food on them, but it will be a fun time. And the awaiting audience, Cove can stand by. As instructed, you turned your back to the crowd, and Cove took his place in front of you. His shoulders were drawn in, out of sympathetic tenseness for your task. They're definitely ready for you, Devin. Thanks. The room became silent as you wound up for the toss. You paused, and then... I'm gonna do a side shot. I'm gonna, let's trick them. Tricky side shot. A flurry of heel clattering, jewelry clinking, and lighthearted yells burst into the space. The bouquet would land in seconds, and the crowd was vying for that prize. The clamor rapidly reached its peak volume, with nearly everyone in the crowd either gasping or cheering. The game had ended. You took a glance over your shoulder to see what the results were, and... Your father-in-law was off to the edge of the group with a baffled look on his face and a bouquet in between his arms. Dad! You're getting remarried, Dad. The position of it was uneven, almost slipping through. He hadn't caught it with precision, but he did have it. Someone else can take this if they want. I don't need it. No way, Clifford. That's your win. He looked downward shyly, then felt nervous again, seeing the flowers in his hands, and ultimately settled on looking off to the side. Alright. Your planner took to the mic again to make the results official.
Bravo.
Stunning work by our winner, Clifford. I'm gonna applaud. There was laughter all around. Your guests were good sports. As ever, Baxter was able to manage the flow of the day on your behalf. He took the mic and addressed the assembled crowd, his clear voice resonating through every speaker. Please, could everyone turn to the seating area for our next event? Our guests of honor have arranged to have a special dance between their parents and themselves. Your eyes met Cove's aquamarine ones as you instinctively glanced towards each other. Your expressions brightened before you stepped apart, ready for the event. Your moms radiated joy as they approached. They each took one of your arms and entwined it with their own. The three of you made your way over to an open spot in the dance space at the front of the reception area. Close up like this, you could see not only the pride evident in their faces, but the telltale shine of teary eyes. As the music began, Mom broke away to allow you and Ma to dance together first. While you flowed and swayed in time with the tune, Ma took the opportunity to speak to you. Her voice was soft and low, preventing her words from carrying outside your little bubble. It seems so much to me to see you like this. All we've ever wanted for you and your sister is for you to have a good life. I hope you'll always be as happy as you've been today. Touched, you felt a pricking of emotion in your own eyes. Ma spun you around and handed you over to Mom. She picked up the rhythm instantly, and you got into the swing of things, just as you had with Ma.
You're fantastic.
I love you, Mom. She squeezed your shoulder where she was holding you, and as you bopped to the music, you always had been very physical in her affection, though not always conventionally so. You were somewhat relieved that she had not chosen to pinch your nose in front of people on your wedding day. She gripped your shoulder again. You really are. You smiled back at her, lost for words. You loved both your moms so fiercely, you were overwhelmingly grateful that they could be here with you for this day. During a turn in your dance, you caught sight of Cove happily twirling around with his own parents, hand in hand on the other side of the floor. Even glimpsed from a distance, you could make out the huge smiles on Cliff and Kira's faces. It made you giggle as you drew back towards your moms. I can't handle all the love in this game. I can't. It literally... I'm going to cry. Everyone loves each other so much. Mom made you break away and let Ma have a turn dancing with you, but Ma snatched her hand in yours and drew you into a dance together as a group. Laughing even stronger, you danced with both of them until Ma released your mom's hand. You let Mom go with a wave and danced with Ma one-on-one. Before long, you swapped back to dancing with Mom. You took turns dancing with them both individually as well as dancing as a group, changing it up often so that no one was left out in the cold for long. But eventually the song came to an end, bringing your dance to a close. Your moms enveloped you in a hug, sandwiching you in from the front and back.
Wonderful.
That was such a lovely time. You really know how to put on a party. You held them back just as tightly, glancing from one to the other. Thanks. I learned it from watching you too. Cove and his parents rejoined you, their spirits as high as your little groups.
You're good.
That was wonderful. Bravo. Baxter's voice rang out through the speakers once more. Now, we are now opening up the dance floor. You're all warmly invited to come up and join the family for dancing. With that announcement, the nostalgic songs got turned up, enticing people to come forward and join themselves. The dance floor bustled with more and more attendees, and over in the seating area, family and friends were catching up over animated conversations. Satisfied that people were having a good time, you decided to... we're gonna dance with everyone, obviously. We're a dancing fam. You happily shimmied into the crowd, ready to take the most of the occasion. It wasn't often that you got to gather up the people most important to you like this, and even rarer that it came with good music and the opportunity to dance. Lee, Terry, and Miranda had already kicked the party off, jumping and strutting around exuberantly to the music. Miranda squealed as you approached, grabbing your hands and pulling you into the group, and you easily got into the rhythm of things with them. You continued to spend time with the whole bunch for the song after song, but of course you made sure to save some dances for your new husband too. The merrymaking continued right up until it was time for dinner to be served. All the action must have helped them to work up an appetite. As the guests piled readily, they quickly filed back to their tables, ready for a delicious meal as soon as it was announced. You settled right into your seat at the... I can't believe... Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my brain is crapping out a little bit because, you know, dyslexia and reading don't get along. So I'm getting a little tired, but I can't believe how much energy and, like, time they put into making this wedding. Like, they really said every part of the wedding. We're doing every part of it, and that's really cool. Cole sat up in his own chair excitedly, reaching over for the napkin-wrapped silverware. In preparation, he was ready for dinner. A waitress clad in black from top to bottom came to stand across from you. She had a frosted pitcher of water in her hands. While setting that down at the spot on the table between you and Cove, she spoke out in a friendly tone. Can I get you anything else to drink? Baxter stood on the sidelines to supervise the process. He was well into his work. Servers ebbed and flowed between the tables as drinks were provided to each individual who requested one. That wasn't where it stopped. Bowls of soups were then catered out before the main course. Cove took in satisfied inhalation of the steam coming off the soup. It could catch a whiff of the scent yourself. It was savory and rich. He scooped a spoonful out and dug right in. The rest of the guests followed, taking first taste of what you had to offer them. Spirited discussions were had between bites. There were plenty of compliments. Kira and Terry sounded especially pleased with how it came out. They were chatting to the others at their tables about the punch it had. It was delicious and exactly the way you had wanted it. Mom's jovial tone carried itself above the rest of the voices. So how much are we getting here? There was those appetizers from before, and now there's more, and the meal hasn't even shown up. I've lost count keeping track already. I asked, it's a 3-course meal, not counting dessert. Nice. Me at weddings only cares about food. The main course was ready, and the guests were ready for it. You and Cove had the dish placed in front of you first. Cove shifted back and forth, even letting out an excited squeak. When the rest of the plates were brought out, you could pick out oohs and ahs about how amazing it looked in the generous portion size. You even heard mention of the swirls on the dishes by some discerning guests. Very few words were spoken as the dinner truly began. Everyone became fully immersed in their food. It was quite the hit. Guests were given time to enjoy the meals while they were fresh before the reception events continue as you had planned. Baxter strolled up to the side counter set on the opposite end of the head table. You had perfected a view of it. He took out the microphone that he used throughout the rest of the event and to make another announcement. Good evening. From the staff and I'd like to thank you all for being such lovely guests to serve. We hope you've enjoyed your dinner.
Now,
Devin and Cove Holden Birdie have arranged for a few speakers to come up and give their congratulations in order to mark this very special occasion. Please pause your conversations and give them your attention at this time. He didn't hog the mic any longer than necessary, placing it back down on the center of the stand as soon as his brief message had been made clear. Baxter directed a soft smile down to you and Cove as he left the space open for others to speak. A nervous rhythm began to play out next to you as Cove's fingers were drummed against the edge of the table. You watched a furrow grow deeper into his brows. He was preparing himself for whatever was about to be said. There would likely be some friendly teasing, and almost certainly he was going to get emotional again. Once the mic was available, the first person to stand was your ma. She hopped right up and made her claim in the front table. Softly, she spoke across the space directly to you and Cove, her words being carried through the air where you sat. Congratulations once more, my wonderful children. This wedding feels like a dream as much as my own did when I was around your age. Her head tilted to the side towards the other guests and began to formal. Our dinner has been a joy to our families and everyone else who's met them since the day we were brought together. But watching how they've grown with Cove has been special. The way Devin treasured the little stuffed shark keychain Cove had brought them, even using it as their cell phone charm as soon as they got one. Cove's nervousness over attending a formal party but doing it anyways because it was with Devin. There was the one long weekend where Cove came day after day to take Devin on charming trips for no special reason at all. And then, in return, Devin came to me and Pam, needing our help to cook a proper treat for him. Her eyelids rested closed as she let out a sentimental sigh. And I could keep going, there's so many memories. Devin can clear the tears from his eyes better than anyone else when they weren't the ones causing them. Happy tears, of course. It was beautiful and it still is. Her tender gaze shifted to the two of you once more, singling the end her talk had arrived.
I love you.
I can only hope you'll be able to continue growing together for many more years to come. I love you, both of you, very much. I'm gonna cry. Your husband's eyes had already begun misting. After knowing her for all this time, Cove developed a strong affection for Mom. Hearing that she cherished those important memories the same way you had and he did had an impact. Well, now I'm gonna lurk a bit and gonna go take a quick shower. Have a nice shower! I hope it's nice and relaxing. She slipped the mic in its proper place, brushed at her bangs, and walked to her seat again on light steps. Your mom brushed down her dress as she stood on her feet and began to walk. This was her chance to take the stage, and she was going for it. Oh God. When she put on her hand on her mic, the tip of her finger tapped the top of it, doing a sound test. The puff of sound echoed out, and your mom was satisfied with it. She lifted her head high, facing the crowd and smiling wearily. Thanks everyone for coming today and for all the gifts you brought. I don't know how we're gonna pack all that up to get it to their place, but we'll make it work. Where there's a will, there's a way. She had to lower the mic a bit, already snickering under her breath. Well, Devin, Cove, our families went through a ride with you two being brought together. Talk about a force of nature. You took some time to feel things out, but after those rocker years, it was time to watch out. You even ran away together the very first summer you met. You were only 8. But at the end of it all, I think you were both good influences on each other. Or at least, you have made one another very happy. That's good enough in my mind. You really took the promise when you were 13 to treat Devin well to heart, huh, Cove? Thanks. Cove smacked a hand to his cheek automatically. It didn't do anything to hide the color burning into his face. And you know, we really need a son in there to round things out. Mom snorted in laughter at her own line. She waved that away with her free hand, wanting to be more serious. When she could muster the even tone she had been aiming for, your mom finished her speech.
Love you.
I love you, kiddos, and it's true that you're hardworking adults now, but don't forget that your mom and I are here if you ever need anything. I'm going to cry! Your family will always be there. Oh my God. He really had come to love your mom. With a quite pleased grin, Mom left the mic behind to return to her spot right by her wife. Smooth as silk, Liz rose from her seat and glided across the floor to speak at speaker stand. But Liz took her time before saying anything, even out her bangs, clearing her throat, fiddling with the angle of the mic when she did take hold of it. She didn't have a care in the world. Oh God, Liz is gonna roast us. That couldn't be said for everyone. Cove tensed in apprehension of whatever she was going to say. He had to know what she was planning. Luckily for him, she did eventually begin her speech and end his suspense. As I'm sure many of you know, I'm Devin's older sister, so one of the very few people who have been around them for longer than their husband. She was smirking already, 2 sentences in. We're pretty close, is the thing. She flicked the hand without the mic into a non-committal half shrug. But honestly, Devin, if I realized you'd be marrying that new kid back then, when I was 10, I might have had to disown you. A scrawny, grumpy boy who didn't even know how to play pretend, right? Certainly not, even if I did joke about it happening. Hey! Cove gasped indignantly that she would say such things, but things being said continued on regardless of his objection. I love this speech. I'm so excited. And yet here we are at your wedding to that very crybaby.
Unreal.
She's roasting him. Exasperated at Liz's angle for her congratulations speech, Cove slunk lower in his seat, took his drink in both hands, and sipped at the juice like a furious elementary school kid. Her head slowly shook, the ends of her eyebrows bent, and less crooked smile came to her face. The tone wasn't silly anymore. But with all that out of the way, what I actually want to say now is, you made the right choice. He's the one for you. Day after day, week after week, year after year, Cove was there, even more than I was, a lot of the time. Don't get your hopes about this meeting. I'm done teasing you about it. But for today, I want to thank you, Cove. Those big, watery eyes of yours have never lost sight of Devin since they caught them.
Thank you.
It brings peace to my heart to know that there's another person out there who cares for them as deeply as they deserve to be. Oh. He didn't have another comment then. Liz's grin widened as if she knew exactly the reaction she'd be getting. Okay, I'm just gonna...
Historians will call them close friends, besties, roommates, colleagues, anything but lovers. History hates lovers.
Oh my God. Congratulations to my old baby sibling and their special boy. Love you. I'm here for the cheers. I've almost cried like 9 times. I'm holding it together, but yeah. Like, this, the love. I love love. I love love. I love it. I love supportive love. I love familial love. I love sisterly love. I love cousin love. I love husband love. I love love. Like, this is so sweet. They did such a good job. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm crying. The last moment, Liz had made Cove smile, and his wide eyes were as damp as she had described. Liz daintily left the microphone where it belonged and returned to her chairs fully satisfied. Terry jumped up. Oh, I forgot Terry was giving a speech. Fuck. Strolling right over to the counter, he scooped up the mic in one hand and gestured ahead of him with the other. We need this kind of sweetness. Sometimes we do. I feel like, especially where we have played all of the Life is Strange games and some of the other like really emotional hard games, like it's so nice to have a game that's just like people and love and about working together and supporting each other and like communicating and just being wonderful people. And I love it. Cry, feel the emotions. I'm trying so hard not to. Thanks for the clip, Pyra. The rare wholesome clip, I know. Oh my god. I was here for the planning. Did you pick who would give speeches or leave an open mic? I picked. So I picked our moms and Liz, I think. And then Cove picked Terry and I think his dad. And maybe Kyra? Did you leave an open mic? I want to go back and play and like listen to all of the speeches. I just knew streaming I would probably get tired, and so I was like, I don't want to have too many speeches, you know? I met Cove and Devin in high school. I didn't know them the longest out of everybody, but I could tell they were some cool people right away. Them and Randy were my best group of buddies back then, and we've kept that friendship train going despite all the stuff that's happened. He tapped a finger against the tabletop in time with every specific he motioned. Graduating school, moving to different places, me and Miranda dating, the two of them getting married, and things about us not being what other people thought they were. Also, we lived through that one summer when it wasn't just the 4 of us, sometimes it was the 5 of us. Right, my pal Baxter? Aww! He brought the mic even closer to his grinning mouth for emphasis and dramatically pointed off to the side. So he did it like this, he went, I'm sorry for all your ears.
Right, my pal Baxter.
That's what he did. That's what he did. I left open, but I think it was about the same plus Mandy. Oh, Mandy gives a speak if you leave it open. I love that. Aww. I'll dump my paycheck on bits if you don't cry. If I don't cry, bet. If I don't cry, okay, I won't cry. Look. I'm not crying. I'm just kidding. I'm not crying. Bet. I won't do it. And Derek. Oh, Derek gives a speech. I don't want Derek giving a speech. Get out here. How do you fellow kids? How do you do? Are you out of work, Terrible? Welcome back. You out of work? I don't think she'll make it through with these speeches. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying real hard. Now we're all here again. You probably hadn't planned for that. And he was right. Having been quietly discussing next stats with the server, Baxter's mouth hung open mid-word. I almost fell out of my butt because of the ice. Oh my god, same. It's so icy out. What is your city also not cleaning up the ice? Because it's everywhere. It's so dangerous. Suddenly being brought back into focus outside of his expertly laid schedule knocked him completely off rhythm. Cove barked a gratified laugh, equally as shocked but far more amused. Baxter's head turned in the direction of the sound, and his mouth finally closed into a weary smile. It seemed Terry brought the gift of teasing someone other than you or Cove, and it was more than a welcome offer as far as Cove was concerned, especially since it was taken in good spirits. There is something remarkable about being able to include Baxter in your group's merrymaking, the same way as everyone else. Terry nodded knowingly, then casually transitioned into his main point. And I guarantee our friendship is gonna stay on track. No matter what, there's no one who could take your places. From me to you and from you to each other. Good work tying the knot your catches. Cutie. There's ice everywhere, right? It's almost safer to walk in the... Pyra, that's literally... So I walk to school, and I've had to walk on the street for the last, like, 5 days. Because the snow, the way it snowed, it was like a wet snow. And so it got compacted down. And it's been melting and freezing consistently every day. And so the sidewalk is all just black ice and like frozen snow. And it's horrible. It's so dangerous to walk anywhere. And so I've just been walking on the street because it was safer and it's been salted. It's horrible. I only have 70 and I don't get paid till 2 Fridays for now, so I have no money for 2 weeks. So Bean, don't spend your money. Please, please and thank you. Please do not spend any money except on necessities that you need to live. Okay? Okay. Terry left his speech and Mike there. He paused and applauded your union graciously before flipping his hand out in a wave as he walked off. Cove gave a big friendly wave in return. His eyes were glossy. Soon as Terry hit his chair again, Miranda took his arm and happily began whispering to him about the speech. Kira pushed herself up from her seat and went right to the front without hesitation. Eagerly, she lifted the mic to her lips and said, I can't believe my babies are having a wedding right now. The unexpected declaration sent chuckles rumbling throughout the crowd.
Any whoosies.
Any whoosies. Kira continued with a wink and a smile. It was a treat getting to meet Devin in person for the first time. Though I already felt like I knew them, thanks to all the stories Cove loved to recount about them. In a pouting whisper, Cove spoke about that description of events. Mom! Whenever I got to visit Sunset Bird, or you visited me, I came to see firsthand more and more what marvelous individuals you were growing into. You bloomed right before my eyes like perfect white poppies on the hill in your Taunton neighborhood. Oh! Every moment I've been able to spend with each of you has been a gift. We had some pretty wild times over the years. I count my lucky stars that I got to be the mom to such an amazing boy. And Devin? The buoyant tone of Kyra's words faded into something softer, sweeter. I'd like to thank you personally for helping my baby make himself a home again. I'm truly grateful for that. There was a sniffing at your side after that. Cove tugged at the tablecloth in front of him, unconsciously needing to do something. Congratulations, both of you. I love you. I love you too. It didn't matter that she couldn't hear him, she knew. Kyra used the bottom of her palm to wipe her eye, placing the mic on its stand with the other hand. She took an additional moment to look up at you and Cove gently, and then Kyra strode back to her table. Oh my god. So what we're saying is she's really gonna cry in the stream because she was going to do a cry list, but now without incentive, she's not going to hold anything back. Shut up! So I'll spend it on the... I'm not crying. I'm crying. Exactly because it... Stop it! I'm not crying! I'm not crying! I'm not crying. Cliff leaned over towards her and gave 2 thumbs up for that speech. His zealousness made Kira cover her mouth in amusement and embarrassment. And then Cliff raised from out of his seat. The most contentious figure in your husband's early life who grew to become his best man. That's so true! Wait, he hated his dad. Cove hated his dad. And now he's his best man. I love. Oh my god, this game. You're cute, Lex. You're cute. Don't even. You're a cutie. Oh my god. Is Buzzbot adding Cluck to things now? Yes, Lex. It's Cluckbot now. It's not Buzzbot, it's Cluckbot. Which, every time I say Cluckbot, sounds weird. Cliff took a large stride to reach the speaker's stand, but his finger froze in place before they could grasp the mic. He stared down at it, collecting his thoughts of his emotions or both. When he was ready, his hand... You better not make me cry, Cliff. I swear to God if you make me cry. Okay. And as he lifted the mic up higher, a grin pulled across his face. There was a crinkle around the corner of his eyes.
Hey.
Hey, Sport. Hey, Devin. Hi. Hi, Dad. Yeah, it was Bean's fault. Blame Bean for the clucking. I got foods and eating fish sticks and french fries. Oh, that sounds delicious. I'm very jealous. Cole's reply was barely audible. He might not have realized he'd done it. Cole's irises were shaking as he looked ahead intently. Well, Cliff's expression turned distant. He was facing the crowd, but his gaze had drifted even further away to something in the past that was long gone. I remember the first day Cove and I moved to Sunset Bird, when I met Devin. I didn't know where my boy was then, or what I was doing, or anything at all really, as you'll soon be able to tell. He chuckled weakly over the self-derisive comment. It didn't do much to lighten anyone's mood, including his own. He remained wistful. I was sitting around on a curb when Devin strolled up the road, heading home. I knew them, or I knew of them. I'd met Pamela and Nolani. I can't talk already. Talking to them is how Cove got away from me. Cliff shook his head, trying not to get too lost in his complicated mess of thoughts on those times. But that's not the point. What matters is that I'd heard Devin was their 8-year-old, the same age as my Cove, and that Devin was the only one that age in the neighborhood. In my infinite wisdom, I'd picked out a place that wasn't exactly a family-friendly community. It was mostly a bunch of retired vacationers. He gritted his teeth and placed a hand on his forehead, feeling the sting of that day as if it was fresh. And speaking of, did I mention it was the start of summer break when we moved? What was my little boy going to do now that I dragged him out there? I wanted him to have someone to play with, someone he could talk to. I wanted him to be happy. There was a heart-wrenching crack in Cliff's voice as he spoke about what he was truly feeling. His feelings had truly been. Vespi Queen? That's a perfect Pokemon. I like that. I like that. What am I? Bean, tell me what I am. What Pokemon am I? You never told me. Tell me. What Pokemon am I? What Pokemon am I? What Pokemon am I? What Pokemon? What Pokemon am I? What Pokemon? What Pokemon? What Pokemon? What Pokemon am I? What Pokemon? What Pokemon? What Pokemon? What Pokemon? What Pokemon? What Pokemon? At that moment, everything was going wrong. It felt like a dead end no matter which way I went, and I was so sure that there wouldn't be anyone for Cove if it wasn't Devin. In one more valiant effort to try not to make the mood of your wedding too heavy, Cliff gave a goofy shrug. So, I offered Devin $20 to be his friend. It's just funny to me. The straight line of his shoulders lowered on each side like a roof sagging after years of having to stay solid. Maybe that's not the word. What I'm saying is that all my worries and regrets were at their peak. I was acting crazy. I know it now. But somehow it still turned out that there really wasn't anyone else for him. Or not anyone better for him anyway. Nobody else in the world who can be there for Cove the way they can. It's I. The sentence remained unfinished as much as he tried. Cliff couldn't put the words together to express what it meant to him. Cliff placed a hand against his chest as he gazed lower to the ground. His delicate words continued to be shared with a full gathering of people thanks to the mic, but it was as if Cliff was speaking only to his son. That day, such a long time ago, at this point, when you found out about why me and Kira divorced, they were there. Devin was there when the plan was just to go jet skiing. Then that emotional bomb. Oh my god, I remember this. I remember that tired episode. I was like, I just wanted to go jet skiing. I just wanted to go jet skiing. They were there, and now it's cute. Oh my god. I want to be the sexiest of all Pokemon, the daddiest of Pokemon, Mr. Mime. Why is Mr. Mime daddy-ist? I don't feel like Mr. Mime's daddy. That's weird. The Pokemon I had for you isn't in the game, so I'm trying to find a new one. Dang it! Who was it? Can I know? I want to know. Also, Snom? What's Snom? Butt cheeks on a bench? Love Snom. Snom is butt cheeks on a bench? Excuse me? There's a fan theory that Ash's mom is married to a Mr. Mime. I saw that because he like lives in the house and she lives alone. It's just Mr. Mime. And when you felt ready to head back out to keep going forward, you just had to turn your head to see someone who was ready to go with you.
I'm so glad.
You had someone who supported in ways I never could. I was just what I had hoped for. I was so relieved. He glanced forward once more, offering a smile directly to you. You're an amazing person, Devin. Inhaling deeply through his nose, Cliff's stance pulled together, tall and solid. His dark blue eyes shone with a depth to them as they met with the far brighter blue of his child's. Son, being your dad will always be the biggest thing I've done in my entire life. And getting that condo on that street was the luckiest card I ever drew. I bet you two would have found each other with or without that eventually, but because of it, my kid got to grow up right next to the person who could make him happiest. I can't ask for more than that. And Devin, you didn't need a dad with that great moms you've got, but I'm so thankful I still get to be yours. I love you both, and I'll keep loving you for the rest of the time. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, I'm trying so hard not to cry. Tears streaked down Cove's face freely. He didn't fight their falling. I love you too. Watching you and your husband from where he stood, Cliff got misty-eyed himself. He reached to wipe his cheeks, completely forgetting there was a microphone in his hand. Cliff set it down shyly, waved over to the two of you, and stepped away. He was then able to rub at the ever-growing tears. No one spoke or even moved as Cliff returned to his spot. When he was seated, Kyra reached over to give his back a pat. He had done good. Cove's breast was shaky, taking in everything. A weepy smile reappeared on his face. The more it sunk in just how much he was cared for. He leaned against your side, pulling at the tablecloth and burying his face into your shoulder. Your eyes were glossy because they are. Mr. Mime is daddy because he will marry single moms and Pokemon trainers and become their stepdads. You're not wrong. Ew. It was Talonflame because you're chaotic and full of energy. Wait, I need to look up the Pokemon. I said that like I know Pokemon well. Talonflame. Talonflame. Oh, I love them! It can't be mean though. Sad face. This is the one that got me when I played. It's so sweet. Cry or I spend all my money on bits until you cry. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because talking, I'm gonna be honest with you. Talking helps me get through the period of emotion I feel, and I'm able to like work through it. So, Mr. Mime can be your stepdaddy and terrible. That's terrible. Oh my god. I'm gonna brush his hair back soothingly. Slowly, deliberately, you stroke the smooth green strands of hair without disrupting Cove's positioning against your body. When a voice was amplified out across the whole space once more, it was unexpectedly your planner, giving his Does that make- wait, okay, wait. If Mr. Mime is daddy, does that make Jinx mommy? I don't like it. I can see it after she thanks Lex. And announcing the closing of speeches, but rather than leaving the microphone on the counter, he strolled up to your table with the device in hand. Before we shut this off for the night, would either of you like to give your own message to your loved ones? Oh. Cove lifted his teary face up to acknowledge Baxter, pausing to sniffle. Oh, I'll do it. I have nothing to say because I'll be fine just listening to Cove speaking. It was too much pressure to address an entire crowd, and you were confident your husband could get the feelings across to the both of you.
Of course.
Of course, here you are. Nah, Mel's mom is mommy. Arcane. I mean, yes, but also she seems to be a little bit evil. Hear me out on that. Get it? Like Jinx? I do get that, because Jinx, haha. Cove used one hand to scrub his eyes and the other to accept the mic, drawing it in close. To close his murmur crackled uncomfortably loud. The Cove's arm sprung out straight instinctively to get the noisemaker away from him. Oh my god, those emotes are adorable. I love the Totoroy and I love the Brewster. I want Brewster. Oh my god. What the heck? I love that Brewster emote. He winced before much more cautiously lifting the mic towards his face. He cradled it in both hands and his gaze dropped to the ground.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Really, seriously, His eyes closed. I mean, she literally is pirate. You're not wrong. As he paused to bite his lips. So glad to be here. And all those things you said were... There was a cracking strain to Cove's voice that wasn't caused by technical error. He was choking up. Each word had to be pushed out with dedicated effort. Really nice. I love you. As rapidly stuttered as it was, what he meant to express came through to you and the rest of the people there to hear it. Cove's earnest affection. In a fumbling shove that screeched out even more unintentional feedback, Cove returned the mic to Baxter. His now free hands moved to cover his mouth. And that brought the speeches to their last sentimental, though ear-piercing note. Applause erupted from the table to table, and Baxter grinned approvingly.
Perfect.
He took the microphone back with him as he rejoined with the other staff members in order to give you and Cove some space to yourselves. When the clapping subsided, emotions remained high. Further conversations were tentative and hushed for a time, but eventually the happy chatter that frequented your reception filled the air again. It was an evening of good food and good company. The evening continued to slip by in a dreamy haze. Before you knew it, all the attendees had finished their main courses and the dishes had been swiftly cleared from the tables. In spite of this, everyone remained rooted in their seats. It was no secret that there was more to come. People were waiting eagerly for dessert. Oh yeah, I forgot we were doing cake! Though none of them could match the vibrating anticipation of your husband. It was time for the cake. Buggy, here's hoping your cake turned out good. Can we play Animal Crossing sometime soon, Bertie? I miss playing with you. Of course, Bean. I play almost every night. I usually play between playing DBD. Imagine me, the gamer me, sitting here playing DBD, and then when the matches are taking forever to load, I pull out Animal Crossing, so I'm playing Animal Crossing and DBD at the same time. What a juxtaposition. But before the event, you had something else up your sleeve. The servers returned and they bestowed the extra treats to your guests. Truly delightful rays of fancily plated cinnamon rolls were delivered to the tables and distributed to guests. The dishes had been carefully selected to match your yellow color scheme. Derek had something of a chuckle over your choice. Catching your eye, he gave you a thumbs up.
Nice.
Very fitting for you two. The servers vanished from the floor with impressive efficiency, allowing the wedding cake to take center stage. Cottagecore bliss versus horrible murder. I mean, isn't that the same thing? Isn't that the gay agenda, cottagecore murder? I don't know what I'm saying. Servers vanished from the floor with impressive efficiency, allowing the wedding cake to Sat on a center table was your fully realized creation, a two-tiered, unusual style rainbow masterpiece. You were pleased to see that your guests were as smitten with it as you and Cove were. It's so charming! And the little details are beautifully done. Have a nice food, Pyra! Lee was utterly enchanted.
Very nice.
Yes, I love it! Miranda cheered, her eyes sparkling with delight. A rainbow? Baxter beckoned for you and Cove to come forward. You rose from your seats as soon and crossed the floor to the display table, where a waiting server offered the cutting knife to you both. The two of you took hold of the handle, hand over hand, so that you could make the incision as a team. Together, you hovered the knife over the lowest level of the cake. You glanced at Cove, who smiled weirdly at you. It really was almost too beautiful to cut, but just almost, and your guests were waiting for their portions of the delicious cake. Careful so as to preserve the structure as much as possible, for as long as you could, you pushed down with the knife. It slid through the cake easily, leaving a smooth cut all the way through. You and Cove drew the knife out, then another cut in order to create a neat triangle of a cake. Do I get to see my cake? Apparently not. But apparently everyone loved it, so. The server produced a plate ready for the first slice. With a bit of shakiness in the motion between the two of you, you slipped the knife under the piece and transferred it to the waiting plate. The first slice was done. You nodded satisfied before reaching down to plunge your hand straight into the cake. The soft, spongy treat squished between your finger. Do not do this. Oh my god, I didn't mean for a hole. I wanted frosting. Of course they loved it. I made it. Cove's fingers brushed against yours as he scooped the remaining cake from the platter into his own hand. Oh, frosted. Yes, you frosted the tip of his nose with your finger. That's all I wanted to do. 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 That's all we wanted to do. Cove washed your hand with a trepidation, swiping your fingers across the cake you gathered the frosting. Cove closed his eyes as you raised your hand, but you daintily tapped your fingertip on the end of his nose, leaving just a dab of frosting behind. Then with fingers dripping with creamy confections and crumbs, he delicately caressed your cheeks, leaving a trail of cake behind. I just daintily frosted his nose, and he's like, here's some cake across your entire face. Enjoy it. Frosted the tip, just the tip. Yeah, just the tip. I only wanted the tip, okay? The frosting was cool against your skin, while the fine crumbs of cake itself trickled as you streaked them across your cheeks. You tried to contain your giggles until he was done, not wanting to move at the wrong time and get cake in your eye. A few rogue chuckles still escaped. When Cove's furrowed brow relaxed into his normal expression and he brought his hand away, you finally judged it was safe. You exploded with laughter at his novel approach to cake smashing. It was just like him. The two of you were then both caked in cake. Well, technically I didn't, but that's okay. A towel was laid out on a nearby serving platter, almost certainly for the purpose of helping people clean up after this exact scenario had played out. Cove wiped himself off with it as you laughed. When Cove removed the towel from his face, he revealed a tickled smile. He'd taken the smash-in with humor and grace like an absolute champ, and he held out the towel to you. It was good that Cove was there to assist. You'd been so engrossed in watching him that you completely forgotten the cake still clinging to your face and fingers. You both happily made your way back over to the head table, accompanied by cheers of your family and friends. Though you'd spent a lot of time on your feet today, each step was buoyant. When you and Cove were back in your seats, a couple of waiters smoothly placed fresh-cut slices of cake before you. Cove let out a thrilled squeak as he picked up the provided fork. Each aspect of it had been painstakingly planned to suit the occasion as well as your taste. Now at last it was finally time to eat it. Let's do it. Let's eat the cake. In a short order, serving of cake were set down at each table, a neat triangular slice in front of their guests. As the crowd dug in, along came discussion on the dessert. Mom exclaimed with delight, very much enjoying the dessert. This is great stuff. Terry paused briefly in order to give you a double thumbs up. Cove, too, stopped and shoveling buttercream into his mouth long enough to give his own praises. I always thought vanilla-y things were kind of boring, but they're nothing like this. He shook his head in wonder, readying his next bite of cake on his fork. It's so creamy. It's so creamy. We love cream. Vanilla is actually amazing. You were hooked within one bite. It was just as wonderful as you hoped, and more. The bakery had outdone themselves. Sorry! I'm sorry! You and Cove wolfed down the delicious cake with gusto, polishing off your own slices. I couldn't believe how quickly it was gone. Your plate scrubbed clean, but it had been much too good to resist. Luckily, there was. Thank you for the stick slack. You got the hiccups. I'll scare you. Ready? I'll scare you. Boom! Did that scare you? Luckily, there was no shortage of cake, blah, 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 blah. We got more cake. By the time the meal was officially over... Oh, by the way, if anyone needs, like, if you like Cheetos, but you don't want to support Cheetos, these are so good. They're, like, spicy, too. They're really fucking good. By the time the meal was officially over, Cove had only devoured 3 full-sized slices of cake, but he double-checked with Baster about what would happen to any leftovers. Baster had needed to reassure him that any remaining sections of the cake would be wrapped up to go home with the two of you. It was pleasant to sit back and relax for a while, giving your feet time to recuperate from a long day. But it all didn't last long, for long. Newly fueled by cake, the party was beginning to start over. Thank you for the click, Mew. I miss jalapeno Cheetos. They're so good, right? The celebration was able to continue in earnest. Derek, Lee, Terry, and Miranda got the dance floor going. They took turns pulling silly moves and cheering each other on. Keep watching that clip until they go away. but he'll know it's coming. They'll know. They'll watch the clip and he'll be like, there's a boo coming. He'll know. Liz sung along to all the songs that she knew whenever an old favorite came from your life growing up together came on. Your four parents made their table base camp and cycled between catching up with each other's family in town and rejoining with one another. They spent much of the time trading sentimental stories about when their babies were just babies. Cole's one uncle showed off his classic magic trips to celebrate the day. Your husband was far more enthusiastic about the stunts as a 23-year-old adult than he was as an 8-year-old child. Same Cove. During the entire time, more casual photos were snapped out of the best and funniest moments. One was when Miranda got Terry to hold up her dress so she could do a handstand. You couldn't wait to see them fully developed. And many guests had been generous enough to bring presents that you and Cove might need. You finished opening each one and offering your thanks. Seafoam green towels, dishes, and water purifier, a framed picture of the sea with the words "Life is a beach" were just some of your takeaways from that day. The most common gift, however, was the safe bet of simply giving cash. You'd never seen so many $20 bills in one place. Your families had a sense of humor. Because Mr. Holden tried to pay us with $20! $20, give me $20. $20, give me $20. Wait, that's literally so funny. I love our family. Of course, the racial relationship between that began with someone offering money would reach its head without that repeating. Your husband caught a glimpse of the silent amusement in your face. His mouth curved into a smirk as he watched you. You bet money that he knew exactly what was on your mind. Good evening. I have to say Baxter is like a vampire in my brain. Good evening. This distinct voice of your planner caught your attention. He approached with a polite wave.
You know.
The people you know are as welcome as you are. They've treated the staff, including myself, well throughout the reception. Cove puffed right up in hearing Baxter compliment the people he's close to. He could easily have been mistaken for a proud parent. As pleasant as he kept the pleasantries, Baxter was certain to get to the point of the conversation quickly.
Well,
I'm here to say that you've got space for a few more hours. There are no more planned events or responsibilities on your shoulders. The day went off exactly as intended. He pressed his hands against the bottom of his spine and leaned his torso. There's quite a few typos here. And leaded his torso back against them to stretch. For a single side word, Baxter let himself clock out of the work mindset. Welcome back! How was your shower? Hallelujah. But the metaphorical bell rang and he returned promptly to providing his service, standing up perfectly straight and pointing his toes forward. You're free to simply enjoy yourselves however you want with the time that's left. Of course, I'll personally put out any fires if they do appear. You two don't need to worry about anything. Cool, thank you for all this. You were really the perfect guy to do it. Ooh, what snacks did you get? Baxter's brows curved, his eyes softened, and even pausing to study himself didn't hide the emotion rich in his voice. That means a lot to me. Oh my god. I hate, why did I make that an emote? Why? Oh my god. You're getting a 5-star review from us. The smile already promenaded on his face warmed further. Baxter ran his hand down his shirt, smoothing it out in a casual, fluid motion.
you're welcome.
It's been a joy working with you, truly. The mood was light all around until the feeling really hit Cove. He shifted in place uncomfortably, not knowing how to proceed from the point that was reached. Cheetos and a few drinks, Yulkel iced tea, and orange juice box. Ooh, so many options. I love that. I love Cheetos. You and me, Noelle. So, does this mean we're friends? Oh. Basker's like, we're not friends, bud. He blinked rapidly as his mouth closed into a tight line before saying a full thought. Jeremy, hello! How you doing, love? Welcome in. He blinked rapidly. Basker always needed a second to recover on the rare occasion that something knocked him off his game. Well, that's your call, I'd say. Despite prompting to talk, Cove couldn't put together an answer. We're definitely friends. Two pairs of eyes from two very different men set on you, though eventually moving to look at one another. Smiles returned to both their features as Baxter should say, it was settled. Oh, we're gonna get in a hug! Oh my god, we're hugging. We're all hugging. You tucked your arms around his chest in a nice affectionate embrace. He wrapped his arms across your back in return before letting you go again. Next, his hands went towards Cove. He held it out evenly with confidence, not from a want to be self-assured, but he was actually certain that they had a closer relationship now. That was both an awkward shrug and an invitation to hug instead. Oh my god, the Stitch emote! That's so cute. The lopsided grin he gave was contagious, and Baxter took hold of Cove while positively beaming. Baxter was only tall enough to bring his chin to Cove's shoulder, but he rested it there comfortably. Cove chuckled in amusement. It took a long time, but he had been won over to Baxter's side. He gave his new friend a pat on the back before they ended the embrace amicably. I hope you enjoy your post-wedding bliss, as long as you can, but when life settles back down to normal, as we should have dinner. I know some good places.
I guess.
That'd be nice. I guess we'll call you? Oh my god, why is that the quote that came up? I feel attacked by myself! Oh my god. I'm gonna keep reading now and ignoring the quotes. Definitely we love to get together again.
Perfect.
And congratulations on your lovely day. Well, 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 if it isn't the consequences of my own words. Truly, that's what's happening right now. Stop bullying me. Why? What are these quotes? I don't know. Apparently things I've said, I don't remember any of this. The plausible deniability. I haven't said any of these. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't edit that. That was my fault. He then literally bowed out, tipping one foot back and inkling forward. He kept his head lifted up with the curled grin you become so used to featured prominently on his face. Baxter left the two of you there, disappearing into the crowd of figures, all in black, to help keep the event running as smoothly as possible. You thought back to the very start of that special day when Baxter promised he'd congratulate you when it was over. That gave his parting words an extra sense of finality. But it wouldn't be a real goodbye. This time Baxter would be part of your lives for as long as he was welcome in it. You believed him in that. With the staff busy and the guests mingling with each other, you and Cove had a moment completely to yourselves. Since the wedding first began that morning. Apparently I'm really into asses being spited. Wow. 69, stop! This is like choking again. This is not, I am not, no! Terrible, no! This is not the choking. We're not doing choking and butts, okay? This is not my brand, okay? No, please no. Please no. With the staff, you knew for certain that you could relax when you caught Cove pulling into a big stretch. His torso twisted to one side and his hands rose up as high as he could get them. He had to fight a bit against the crisp, fitted shirt he was buttoned into, but Cove was persistent. His eyes had been closed when he worked out the last of the jitters he'd carried throughout the day, but his gaze landed on you as soon as he finished. There was a radiant warmth in his expression as soon as he spoke with an eased heart. If you don't mind, I want to dance with you again before it's over. Of course, Cove. He smiled openly and welcomed. It was more inviting than his direct words had been. As he had in the past, and as you were certain he'd do in the future, Cove lifted his hand for you to take. You accepted then as you always would. The dance floor was nearly empty. Your fingers remained linked as you both took hold of the other, with your second hands taking form for a dance. Cove brought his chest. That's how I feel about Cove. Against you and nuzzled his cheek against yours, though he was careful not to mess up your makeup. Slow, calming music drifted through the air. It enveloped you and kept out the buzz of distant conversation still happening. You began to sway to the sound, cozy and content. It felt as though you and he were in your own world. Well, Mex, how do I say that? Holden Birdie, congratulations on your successful wedding. Again. He slipped the last word in with a playful laugh. Congratulations to you, Mr. Holden Birdie. Because you're literally holding Birdie right now. I hold myself with Cole's love. Oh my god. Everything is scaring me today. Good, you won't get the hiccups. And if you're wondering, my plan is to be the last person who gets to congratulate you tonight. He waggled his wiggly eyebrows, being intentionally silly. You're such a goofball, you said affectionately. He sighed softly and his shoulder lowered comfortably, but Cove suddenly perked back to attention when something struck him. Though, I could just say it again when we get to the hotel room. I'd definitely be the last person to do it then. That's one of the perks of being married. I better much always get to be with the first and final with you. You for me too. I'm good with that. Oh, there's no one else I want to be my first and last everything. In his glistening eyes, you could see how treasured you truly were. Cove whispered heartfelt words.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, and I also get to say this for sure. See you tomorrow, Devin. I'll see you tomorrow too. Cove pressed himself into you even more snugly and letting out a tiny thrilled squeak. Cove, is there anything you're hoping for in our lives after this? Now that we have a minute, I wanted to mention how you looked. Cove seemed like he had something on his mind. You gave him an encouraging smile. You let yourself enjoy this. I'm gonna smile. I want to shop, but my screen is too filled with Cheeto dust. That's the struggle with Cheetos. He chewed on the inside of his cheek as silence grew longer. You remained patient, communicating your willingness to listen through your eager eyes. Devin, there's something I want to say. The sentence faded out as his lips clammed up in a trembling line. He had to force it back open. I wanted to say it without crying, but your vows were so nice to hear, and I loved them, and thank you for doing that. Simply remembering the scene had gotten the tears flowing again. He couldn't help it. Thank you for yours too. He sniffled once, then twice, and then he grinned back at you. Cove, is there anything we're hoping to do with the rest of our lives? We got our place, our pets, each other. That makes me really happy. But is there something you want to talk about? I want to listen. I'm not bringing up families. Well, I was wondering if we could talk about starting a family. No, we're not doing that. I want to get another pet. Where's the pet option? There it is. I want to get another pet. I'm thinking we could use some company. I don't mean more fish. I want a family with you. No, if you have what you need, then I do too. Another pet. He chuckled light as air. Sure. He was truly the perfect man to spend your life with. I kind of am curious what he would say though if you asked about family, like having a family together. His stance tense, blushing in his finery. The spotlight had turned back on and Cove was getting stage fright. Do you like it? It's flawless, perfection, unbelievable. There's vomit on it. What is that quote? Sure, let's ruin this wedding by having kids. We just got married. We don't need to be talking about kids yet. Elegant, magnificent, delectable. Devin! Delectable, Cove. Delectable. Shit on it? Is that what it is? Shit on it, vomit on it, shit on it, throw a brick at it. It matches all the good adjectives in the thesaurus. He could tell from his blush that he had ultimately enjoyed your attention. His posture relaxed and he seemed more confident in the clothes again. Thanks. I like yours too. It's stunning. Thank you. And now we're just gonna enjoy him. Aww. Okay, you gave every part of his face a kiss. kissed his lips, you cuddled your cheeks together, you moved your hands to embrace him. I want to hug him. You held him comfortably, wishing you could stay right there together forever. Lovingly, he stroked your back with the tips of his fingers. It was so warm. Then you heard your husband sigh wistfully. It all went by so fast. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't only mean the wedding. It's everything. Where did the years go? When did you and me become grown up? I don't feel grown up. I don't know if I do either. I feel gay good. Though. His spirits carefully rose again as he spoke more lightly. I feel pretty good about getting older, not being a kid anymore, because I'm doing it with you. Before we could only pretend to play adult, and I was bad at it. Liz was right on that one, unfortunately. And now we're at our wedding. I know what it's like to be an adult, kind of. You just do it, and keeps going. I guess it's all simple as that. I wish I could have figured that out from the beginning. No, actually, I'm glad everything went the way it did. I am too. That's true. Who feels like an adult? I still feel like I'm like 10 in my brain some days. Most of the time I feel like 20 or something, but I don't feel like an adult. The song that blanketed your discussion was at its final chorus as guests were saying their goodbyes to one another. It was almost time to go. Too soon you would know what the ending note of your wedding was. The final glance, the last word. Those thoughts swirled in your mind until Cove brought you back to the existing in the present where you belong.
It's nice.
I think our life is really nice. It is nice. The game is so nice, Cove. Not letting either of you get lost in contemplation again, Cove suddenly clapped both his hands against your shoulders with the utmost seriousness. I'm the opposite. I feel like I grow up too fast. Do you feel like an adult electrifying? Welcome back from dinner. How was it? Was it delicious? You know, if you ever want to have another party like this, I'll do it. It can be every year, multiple times a year, whenever you feel like it. We'll keep Bastard in business forever. I love you so much, Cove. Tiny, delicate water drops pooled in the corner of his eyes. Cove let his hands travel from shoulders up to touch your face. He cradled you tenderly, never wanting to let go. What did I do to get to be with someone who's there for me, someone who honestly cares about me? Well, I don't need an answer, really. I'm just grateful.
I love you.
I love you too. It never gets old. It never gets old. Was that the end? We did it! Oh my goodness, we did it! Wow. 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 Oh wow. That was so good. It ended with him saying he loves us. Everyone, that's the end of our life on stream. I started streaming with our life, and now it's come full circle, and we're ending the game. It's been over a year. And we marry Cove. I'm literally I'm so emotional right now, y'all. I'm so emotional. Oh my god. Till then, have a lovely weekend, everyone. I love you. Goodbye.